1, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working. Hello. 1, 2. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We'll be right with you. Hold on. Daily Brexit live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Daily Brexit coming up shortly.
Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m.
Live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Daily Brexit, yes, coming up soon.
Daily Brexit. One, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working. Hello. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We'll be right with you. Hold on. Daily Brexit live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Daily Brexit coming up shortly.
Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m.
Live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Daily Brexit, yes, coming up soon.
Daily Brexit. One, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working. Hello. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We'll be right with you. Hold on. Daily Brexit live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Daily Brexit coming up shortly.
Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m.
Live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Daily Brexit, yes, coming up soon.
Daily Brexit. One, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working. Hello. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We'll be right with you. Hold on. Daily Brexit live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Daily Brexit coming up shortly.
Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m.
Live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Daily Brexit, yes, coming up soon.
Daily Brexit. One, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working.
Hold on, folks. I do apologise. Won't be a sec. Yeah, won't be long. Oh, yeah.
One, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working. Hello. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We'll be right with you. Hold on. Daily Brexit live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Daily Brexit coming up shortly.
Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m.
Live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Daily Brexit, yes, coming up soon.
Daily Brexit. One, 2, da di da da. Oh, oh, seems to be working.
Oh, that's Chris, isn't it? Okay,
Yes.
hold on,
Yes.
hold on.
Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Oh.
Hey, folks. Yeah, hey. Sorry we're late. Saturday night. And we haven't got a clue what we're doing. Welcome to the Daily Brexit. Oh, yeah. Open forum. Open forum. It's Saturday night, yeah. It's a Billy bonus edition. We're not taking things too seriously tonight. Apart from when we do. I like this music. I don't care what anybody says. Especially this bit. Ah, we've got people on the show tonight. Yeah. I'm a bit late. I was trying to get my guests together. Nightmare. Who've I got? Yeah, I've got Chris Baxter. Chris has... Well, this was only supposed to be a phone call with Chris, and he said, let's do a show. We've got Graeme Sutherland of Billy Bonus fame on the last Billy Bonus show. Yeah, Graeme. He'll be talking about, I don't know, well, conspiracies, I can tell you that. It is. It's like the Brussels Parliament. That was Farage, that bit. Right, okay. So, welcome to the Daily Brexit. I'm Olly Connelly. Good evening. Saturday night, yeah. Billy Bonus edition. Chris Baxter, how are you? How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, Squire. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Did you have a nice holiday?
Yeah, I did. I had a few days off and I also had a few other things to deal with, but yeah, basically. No, not really. I need more. I need longer.
Immigration hotspots.
But no, I was here. I've been here. I am going to be in the UK for a few days over the next week or so. But no, I've been here in Valencia holding the fort, trying to do some work from the end of the internet. And yeah, there you go. What about you? It's been quite a busy week. It's been quite a busy news week, one way and another.
Mm-hmm. Certainly has. All
sorts of things that we've been talking about, you and I, over the last few weeks, and other people on the show as well. It has been a very interesting week. I guess we'll be talking about that tonight. What are we doing tonight? I only said, why don't we call up each other and have a chat? And you said, let's do a show.
Yes, I thought you need to do a show. You do it very well.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Now, hopefully, we can get some people that have got the gift of the gab. Where's my friends? I have no idea. They should be around somewhere.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, Graeme should be about. Elizabeth. Graeme Sutherland. I'm going to try him again because I don't know if he's got a problem with his Skype tonight or he's not connected. Yeah, I'll try him again though. Let me try him. Try and get him to join into this. And if anybody wants to, when you're watching, if it's archived, then obviously you can't do this. But if you're watching live, there is actually Chris. Is anybody watching live?
Yes.
We've probably got.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is one gentleman who I actually want to get on to give a little speech about the people sleeping on the streets, the soldiers, and the good work he's doing towards that.
Right. Yeah.
He's called Gavin. Hopefully he will come on and give us a talk about what he's doing about the support for the people living on the streets.
But particularly homeless veterans, this guy, yeah?
That's the ones, yeah.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned this chap earlier. Okay, well, Gavin.
And Elizabeth
give us a bell.
Says she would join later.
Elizabeth, yeah. Gavin, all you need to do is to get onto Skype and search for Olly Connelly in the contacts. So when you open up your Skype client, anybody, you just go to Skype, and then, you go to the contents. Sorry, you don't go to the contents store. You go to the contacts. Yeah, you've got your menu, yeah. It's Saturday night. It's the Billy Bonus edition. So you've got your Skype contacts, conversation call, view, tools, help. You go into contact, add contact, search Skype directory, look for Olly Connelly, and Bob's your uncle. And yeah, I still can't get on Graeme though. But Gavin, you're very welcome to call. And anybody who wants to, you're very welcome to call.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine, thank you. Yourself? All right. Could you do me a favour? You're on the wrong link. You need to contact Olly Connelly.
So, Lisa.
By going Lisa, to Skype, which you're on now.
I'll tell you what I can do, is I can connect her as well, because she's a contact of mine on Skype.
He'll contact you, Lizzie. Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
You know, what's more important, me or them?
Probably them.
We'll see you just now. We'll see you just now.
Let's be sure.
Bye,
Let's be sure about that. All right. Okay. Good. So.
Right, you need to contact her, Ollie. Direct.
I am. She's not. Okay. Yeah. Margaret Hagris. Yeah. Lisa, who was on the last Billy bonus as well. This takes a little bit of a while to get into. It's not a prepared show. There's no script tonight. So basically, folks can join in, and we're going to talk about whatever, and have a bit of a round table, if you like, a bit of a rant, and a few laughs, and one or two beers maybe, and then we'll check out some comments as well. And that's the kind of the Friday Saturday night format, isn't it, Chris? And yes. The last one, but you're not drinking, are you? You're not drinking. You're being quite good
I don't
these
drink.
days. Yeah. I don't know. Never mind.
But have you got yourself a drink? Because I know you cheer up when you have had a drink or two.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I have. I can't get hold of Margaret. I'll tell you what, Lisa. Lisa, give us a bell.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, well, she's called all those things. She's actually named after the Queen. She's Margaret. She's Elizabeth Margaret, and Lisa is short for Elizabeth. Yeah, I know that because my mother is the same. That generation, that's babies. Anyway, yeah. So, Chris, before anybody calls in or whatever, let me ask you, what's the deal with UKIP? Because it's been on the news tonight. It's second story or something on the BBC running order.
It will definitely be on a lot of news in the future, because apparently Anne-Marie Walters managed to get through the vetting process when she actually failed many times before.
She's the candidate to the right, yeah? The anti...
no, I think we're all
How would you describe her?
I think she's very right.
Right. How would you describe her politics?
Well, her politics are what most people want to hear. The problem is she's totally undiplomatic. There are ways of saying things, and I think she just comes out with it. That is fine for us UKIPers. The problem is us UKIPers are not going to get anyone into Parliament because there isn't just enough of us. We need to entice more voters. And the only way to do that is actually to be diplomatic. Yeah?
Well, yeah. And the other thing is, it seems to me, the big worry I have over the whole kind of Islam issue as a policy for any political party, well, for UKIP particularly at the moment, is that it distracts from the main goal, which surely has to be Brexit and just securing Brexit. And anything else, I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about these things. We have no choice. We have no choice.
No.
Because there are terrorist atrocities going on in the streets of Europe and the UK. But having said that, in terms of UKIP, okay, this is difficult, isn't it? You hear what I'm saying? On the other hand, we're getting people now today and yesterday off the back of the Newcastle story, the child abuse, Pakistani and other men, including white, whatever, but mainly Asian and mainly Pakistani. Off the back of that, we're getting one or two folks now saying from the mainstream, saying, you know what, we need to stop, if you like, politicizing this. We need to discuss it more sensibly. And that, sorry, Gavin just got cut off. Gavin, try again. We need to discuss it more sensibly. But we need to stop being politically correct about it. And so, actually, what I was saying was UKIP needs to focus on Brexit. But on the other hand, the political mainstream at last is being honest that there is a problem with the, some Muslim men and white, underage kids or whatever.
It's been an interesting week, Chris. There's been a lot
That's
going
very
on.
interesting what you've just said, because I think UKIP have actually been saying it for years.
Yeah, they have.
It is nothing new. The
have.
problem is the media have been covering it over, and therefore people on the streets actually do not get a true story of what is happening.
Mm.
You know, Rochdale is a terrible place for this sort of thing. I was recently in a meeting with a lady. She's been on the show, if you remember rightly, who is having problems with social services, daughters, gypsies in Rochdale, raping women, youngsters.
Yeah, Gemma.
It's just all hidden in the media. Newspapers don't want to know about it. The TV obviously don't want to know about it. And there has to be a reason. The only reason I can see that the BBC want to hide it all the time is because they're being supported by the EU and don't want to lose their money. And they're not going to go towards anything against what the EU are suggesting.
Just one sec, Chris. Gavin, I know you just tried again. For some reason, I can't patch you in to this call. And had I tried to take your call, it would have cut off my call with Chris. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to connect with me on Skype. If you go to contacts, add contact, search Skype directory, find me, and then connect with me, and I'll accept your friendship on Skype. And anybody else, because I don't understand that, Chris. The other day it was fine.
Yes, it was.
Gavin,
yes, it was.
you're calling again. But if I accept your call, it's going to. I'm not going to.
That's all right. You can cut me off, and I'll reconnect.
Well, yeah,
Because
we'll
Gavin
try
has
that.
more things
We'll
to say
try that. But
that are
first of all,
important
Gavin.
than myself.
God. Yeah. Okay. Look. All right. Well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try connecting with you, Chris. Oh, now Gavin's gone. Okay.
Well, why don't you try connecting with Gavin and then connect with me at the same time?
Because I don't have his contact details on here.
Well, you should have. Now he's contacted you.
No, not obviously. Maybe I do. Let me have a look.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, I do. You're right. Yeah,
I know you do.
Oh.
Phew.
Okay. So what do I need to do then? Can I not add it?
Connect
Gavin. Okay. Right. I'm still learning how to use this. Right. So I'm going to try adding.
XP, are you?
Adding. Well, no, Windows 7. I'm going to try adding.
That's even worse.
No, I can't. Because he's not a contact. Gavin, because you're not a contact of mine, I cannot add you to this call unless you send me a friendship request. So, okay, he's called again. I'm going to take the call, Chris, and I'll try and patch you into it.
Yes, okay.
Gavin.
Yep, how are you?
Hey, Gavin Felton. Thank you very much indeed. You can show video. All right, I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to see if I can put you up on our screen. If we can see you. Oh, we can see you a bit. Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. See if we can do that. Oh dear. Gavin, how are you, mate? I want to try and get Chris back as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not working. I'll try and work that out. Oh, blimey. Oh dear. Everything's going completely. It's a Saturday night. It's a Billy Bonus edition, everybody. So, Gavin, I understand. Are you a veteran yourself?
Yes, I am. Yeah, veteran of 24 years.
Wow. Okay. Are you homeless? I know you're. Chris Baxter said that you were going to talk about homelessness, veteran homelessness.
Well, yeah. I mean, specifically, we've under John Rees Evans, to be fair, or he certainly helped us. We created a drop-in centre for veterans. One, because we needed one in Barnsley, or in South Yorkshire, really, because there's only two technically, which is one in Bolton, which was the very first one, run by a friend of mine, Kate Wilson. Mm-hmm. And then it sort of came to like, well, why can't we have one over in sunny Yorkshire, God's own county? And so John Rees Evans, to be fair, with his Media Connect, sort of highlighted it, if that makes sense. So it was sort of integrated between us, really. to show that actually, we are a party of people that care. That's the most important thing. But we're doing it for the right reasons, not for political gain. It's not. I mean, no one actually knows that we sort of are behind the scenes in that one, if that makes sense. My name's obviously connected to it, but not the party. We didn't want to do that. That would be sort of not right. So we're up and running. Hopefully by the end of September, we already started helping people. That's the sort of myth as well.
So, how big a problem is it? I mean, you hear a lot of stories, particularly in the United States. When I started out as a journalist, that was in the early 90s, and I actually started out in the States, in Oregon, in New York, and then in Oregon. And in Oregon, I was covering some Vietnam veterans and U.S. Marine kind of army types living in the woods there. And it is, we hear it's a big issue in the States. How big an issue is it in the UK?
It's growing, which is sort of the issue. It's gone under the radar, really, for a number of reasons, really. That firstly, there's a myth that homeless people go to towns and cities. The majority, certainly of ex-military, will always go to woods, places where they feel safe, as opposed to being on a town centre where they can get abuse, etc., etc.
Right.
That's the first myth. So we don't really know no one knows the full scale. I think when people sort of band figures around, how would they ever know? That's the first one.
I guess some of these folks are very, very used to surviving in the wild.
Yeah, exactly. And we met a guy last year that stayed in the woods.
You could argue that it's a better way to live as well. I mean, you could argue that in a way.
Certainly safety-wise. And the guy lived in the woods behind a rugby stadium just outside the other side of Ossett. And it was all to do with security. That's the reason why he was there. We met veterans on the streets in London. And they're veterans because there's certain things you do as a veteran. Like, for an example, like you'll always remember your regimental number. No matter, I could be 76 years old, I will know my regimental number. Every single one of us will know our number. So you can just say to a person, I'm a veteran, and if they don't know their regimental number, they're not a veteran. That doesn't mean you don't help them. I have to stress that. Anyone that's homeless, you help, irrespective of veteran or they're not veteran. That's actually quite irrelevant in that sense. But you do get the sense, because if they're a veteran, there's certain things that you can go and help them with. SAFA, the Legion, obviously. There is certain homeless for veterans. There's a lot of help there for veterans. It's slightly more complicated for non-veterans, I would argue.
Really?
Yeah.
How do these folks how do they live?
Well, the one in the woods, he literally had a sort of routine that he did. He knew, he'll get up, he would go to the same walks, streets, places. He knew on certain days that there'd be a person giving him a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, etc.
Mm-hmm. So he had a kind of a routine.
Yeah,
he had a routine to get food, tips.
Yeah, that's where military people we live by our routine. Even I do now. I have a routine that I do without even knowing it. We just do this. We're structure type people. But the drop-in centre is not just about the homeless. It's about veterans and PTSD, which is ever growing. Some of that was sort of frowned upon within the military circles. I certainly wouldn't say, did I frown upon it when I was a sergeant and I started hearing people sort of showing symptoms of PTSD because we just didn't understand it. I would say I have to put my hands up and say, you know what, I'm guilty. Because it was a sign of weakness, or it was deemed a sign of weakness to admit that you had an issue or concern. So, I can't.
Sorry, you suffered from PTSD yourself?
No, not I didn't. No, what I mean is, when I was obviously when I was a sergeant, a staff sergeant, whatever, if someone sort of came to us or sort of saying, I'm struggling here, we all laughed it off, really. We thought that guy's playing the game, the person's not, he's just not committed. So I look back in certain circumstances with a bit of shame, because it was we didn't really understand it. We thought it was false. Now, obviously, there's evidence to suggest that we got it wrong. You know, these people needed help, and they were sadly let down. But me included, I let them down. You know, I let people down.
Gavin,
that were, yes.
Gavin, I'm sorry. I want to bring some other people into this conversation. Can you do me a favour? Can you friend me on Skype, because then I can patch you into a call with all of us.
Yeah, of course
because
I can.
I wanted to add them to this call, but I can't do that. So can you send me a contact request, and I'll patch you straight into a group call?
We'll do now. We'll do now.
Oh. No, I've cut everybody off. And God. Right. That was silly. That was silly. That was very, very silly. Very silly. Very silly. Chris.
Yes.
Hey. All right. Okay. I'm trying to get there. I'm now trying to work out how to get this video.
So Graeme and
what?
Margaret.
Look at that. I'll tell you. Okay. I'm trying to get the graphics right for the show. Wait, you should see Chris in a sec, which I bet you're looking forward to. Oh, there he is. Yes, there he is. Okay, Chris. Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Now, I've asked Gavin to connect with me on Skype, because then we can patch him into this as a group call. Because as it is, I can't talk to more than one person at a time, or something. I don't know. I thought Skype was easier than this. I thought when you were talking to anybody on Skype, you could add anybody else to the call, and that's the way it works. Which is then you have a conference call or whatever. But it doesn't seem to be quite that easy tonight. But
so we did manage it last week. I don't know what's my.
We did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Hold on.
Yeah. So let me see if I can add Graeme and Margaret as well, just for fun. And then we're going to try and get Gavin back. He should be connecting with me on Skype. Should be getting a connection request from him, which I haven't got yet, Gavin. So I don't know what you're doing. Don't know what you're messing around at. This is not as straightforward, Chris, is it? It's not as straightforward.
There's
that's Lisa.
Yes.
Lisa.
Lisa. Elizabeth.
Dreadful. Chris, this is appalling. And your audio's appalling.
What, even with my microphone?
Oh, dear. This is no way to do a show, is it? It's going to improve. I'm going to try and get this right. I have to say, the technical is not particularly good tonight. Now, Chris is walking off. Just can't get the guests. It's supposed to be telling me what happened this week with UKIP. Okay. Now, I've got a message. I've got a message here. Can't see show. Lisa, can't see show. Can't connect, Olly. Useless. What's going on there? Very odd. Very, very odd. I'm going to see if I can see the show. I don't know what is going on with Facebook Live today.
Well, on Facebook, you've got my picture, and that's about it. Right, you made it smaller. Now you're going to use somebody else.
I'm just going to check to see what I can physically see myself on this post, of this live post, this live show. On you know what? It would help if I unpin the promo for the show and pin the actual show.
Yeah, it might be better then.
That would probably help for people to know that there's something going on. There are 4 people watching this show, and I have to say, you have my commiserations, because so far it's been dreadful. Chris, why are you using that terrible microphone again.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm using the microphone, but I'm going to remove it to my phone.
Okay, I too. Chris is getting there. I am getting there because I now have pinned this post to the top of the page. Facebook.com Daily Brexit. And we've got... Wow. Yes, Beverly Taylor King. I am here. Hi, Beverly Taylor King. Hi, Susan Percival. Hi, Gavin Felton. Just getting on. And yeah. And that was Chris. He's gone again. He's gone. He's probably booting up a different machine. I'll tell you what. I'm going to try... Oh, someone's calling. Okay, let's go for this. With video.
Right, now, is that a much better sound? Because you have got me on my phone.
Yeah, that's much better. That
like
is
that,
much better. And we've got
like
video. I prefer
yes.
it. Yes.
Small victories.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Are you still there?
Yes.
Good. In that case, oh, blimey. What's going on? Who else is there? Is somebody else there? Okay, Chris, do me a favor.
Yes.
Yeah, did
Yes,
you just have to mute your Facebook?
No, I actually took you off. Oh, my Facebook is muted.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I can see you. I can see you playing with your page there.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the live video of you as opposed to...
But that is via my phone, via Skype.
Is it? That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I will... Oh, blimey. What is it? Shoulder? No. Strap guest? No, not that. Oh. Shoulder look? Blimey. I don't know. Oh, there. That? No. No. Window cap? No. John. Okay. It's that. Let's see if I can get Chris Baxter, his video here. This is turning into a technical rehearsal, Chris. Did you realise that?
No, because you had that many, many weeks. Oh, there you go. I'm on again.
Hey, that's odd. Yeah, you are.
Well, I can see myself.
What did I do? Oh, I don't know what I did there. Oh, well, that's fine. Okay.
Right, now you've got me. Right. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. But why are you so...
Stop.
Oh, blimey, I tell you. It's not working properly. Oh, okay. Go for that. And then... Because I'm using this software which cuts in, mixes in all the different types of video and images and stuff like that. Like, you know, for example, if I want to show the dog, yeah? That's
we don't want to see a dog.
No, probably not. Or you can see Chris. But I don't know why is that there? That shouldn't be there. I've tried to get rid of that. Oh, okay. Now we've got somebody else. Now somebody else has joined us. Who's that?
Me, Lisa.
Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
About
I'm having
time.
problems with the net tonight.
Oh, your dog.
Well, you're connected now.
Oh, on and off.
Good. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the graphics. I'm trying to work this out. Lisa, how are you?
Well, not too bad, Ollie. How are you?
Is your dog in a real state, or is, you know, what's the matter?
Family and friends there, I think.
Yeah.
Come again?
Lisa, what's going on with
Come
your
again.
dog?
Oh, he's fine, love. He's fighting back. I sent you a picture of him.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Did you not see him with his helmet on?
With his helmet?
With his aeroplane. I cropped his head and put it on a soldier.
I didn't see that.
Well, I must send it to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
This
Sounds
dog's
quite rude.
under attack.
Oh.
So I cropped his head and stuck it on a soldier next to a jet flight plane.
Oh, yeah.
I must send it to you.
Yeah. Do. If you
But
send
he's
it to me, I'll try and put it on to show everybody.
Well, I can hardly get on the show, never mind show everybody. So
No, I know.
I'll
That's
have to
right.
send it to you later. So what's the
So what-
conversation tonight?
What would you like to
dunno.
discuss?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. There's so
We
much going
were on about, initially we were on about Anne-Marie.
Well,
That's right. That's right. Cool. I knew there was something we'd been talking about.
I think I would like to talk about the tower fire. Now that I saw something online saying that it could be, the judge said it's ISS related.
Really?
He did say that they were bomb-making equipment.
Yeah, and I think the public needs to know about this because I read a report saying that ISS had claimed that it was a bomb, and the judge claimed this. Was it a fake ad or was it fake news?
Yes, the report...
Oi, Chris, stop lighting up. You're lighting... You're okay.
Do you like me having a cigarette?
No, you're fine, mate. Now Gavin is trying to call. Gavin, you need to connect with me. I can't add you to this group call. That's the problem. I need to add you. Okay, look, for crying out loud. Why can't he just connect with me on Skype? I'll tell you what, you can't get the guest, can you? You can't get the guest. So, Gavin, connect with me on Skype. I'll try... Oh, blimey, I don't know where he is. Right, what... So, what is this? What do you mean? ISIS what? Are you talking about this alleged bomb factory?
I saw an ad saying the judge claims it was a bomb, an ISS. It was in one of the pop-ups.
Yeah, I think the instigator of the report that came up saying that it was something in the fridge that blew the fridge up, because there is no way the fridge just blows up. Even if the gas leaks out, there has to be something that ignites it.
I had heard, but it was a rumour that there was a bomb factory. Somebody suspected, but I don't know where that came from, and it's certainly not corroborated. But then again, who's to say that the official story is any more accurate? I have no idea. Ah,
Gavin
now
says he has sent you
Gavin
a
has
request.
sent me a request.
Yes, he says he has.
How do I accept it? Here we go.
Have another beer, Olly. Flappy.
Oh, blimey! I'll tell you what. Okay, I'm gonna try adding him again. Let's try adding him again because he's a nice chap, and he had some interesting things to say. I noticed that. More so than you two, anyway.
Yeah, I know he has a lot more than I have.
What's that? Lisa was swearing in the background there.
That's all Lisa's friends.
I heard that.
She's got family there.
Okay, I'm trying to call. So, is that what you're talking about then, Lisa? That's what you're saying? You're talking about this supposed bomb factory? Because that's the other thing. We've got no idea who was living there, do we? No idea, really.
No. There's Gavin now.
Hey, Gavin. We are now. Thank you so much for connecting with me. Finally, my God, it took you long enough. We're only 38 minutes into the show. We're talking about Grenfell Tower. Lisa was saying how she'd heard that there was a bomb that went off that started that fire, but there was no explosion, Lisa.
Well, there was none in the one previous in Shepherd's Bush Green neither. That took out half a building.
Really? I didn't know anything about that.
Well, if you look at Shepherd's Bush Green, there was a skyscraper that had a fire down the one side.
Right.
In the same area, a few months earlier.
I don't think it was a bomb in per se. I think it was more explosives were stored within the fridge.
Well, it seems to be a lot of fires, you know.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, because when you hear people on the street, they all share different stories about this fire. Some say, oh, it's a fridge. Some say, oh, it's only immigrants in there. It doesn't matter who was in there, it's people. And I think the public's never going to get the truth of the matter.
Lisa, could you do me a favour? Mm-hmm. Could you turn off your telly?
I can't because my friend's watching it and she'll kill me.
Oh, they're crying out loud. I tell you what. Oh, useless.
I'm under manners here.
All right.
But I'm going to go and check my cooker. It's burning. So I'll be online and I'll come back to you, yeah?
All right, darling. Lovely to talk to you.
I didn't want to let you down tonight.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's great. And when you come back, you can tell us what's on, and you can tell us the plot.
I've lost the plot.
Saves you watching the TV, doesn't it?
You can give us a
I'm
review.
not watching it. Granny Matt's watching it, and they're turning it up on Granny Matt.
Granny Matt?
She's the old girl that comes round, you know. She's watching, guess what she's watching?
What's she watching?
Police
Academy. Police Academy 3.
No, it's worse than that. Something to do with... I don't even know, let me just check.
God, I can't tell you.
NCIS.
Oh. Well.
Well, I see Gavin is on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get back to you.
All right,
bye,
Lisa. Check
Elizabeth.
it. Make sure you know. Oh, she's put the dog in the oven or something. I don't know. So how do you two know each other, Gavin and Chris? Because I know you do.
Gavin's my boss. He is the area... Well, let him explain it to you himself.
Gavin, please explain. No, I can't hear you now. I can't hear you, Gavin. Why can't
He's
I
got his
hear
microphone off.
you? Could you hear him, Chris? I'll tell you
No,
what.
I can see him talking.
Has anything worked tonight? Nothing has worked, is it? Nothing, absolutely. This is good. We're getting there. Nope, can't hear you, Gavin. No. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I don't know what to suggest.
I can see Gavin, but I can't hear him.
We've got one guest with the telly on, which we can still hear, because she never muted her mic, and we've got Gavin. I mean, at least we can hear what's on the telly. NCIS. Hold on. Let's see if we can hear the plot. Stop laughing, Chris. I want to listen to NCIS.
You ever try to tell an 82-year-old woman to turn it off, you'll get a lick, you know?
Yeah, but you can turn your microphone off on Skype. It's the middle one.
No, it's quite atmospheric.
Let's
middle
turn
one.
it off.
At
Hold
least
on,
we're
I
getting
can't
something.
see it.
We're getting nothing from Gavin.
Has Gavin got his turned on?
Gavin, have you got your Skype microphone on mute?
He says yes. He needs a pair of headsets, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. But, so we were talking a minute ago. It was great. It was fine. You haven't changed any settings, Gavin. Just nod or no. Yeah. What could I suggest? Do you... blimey. Okay, I'll tell you what. What are you using a Windows system? 7, 8, or 9? Has he gone? He might have gone.
Has he gone?
He's going to try and work that out.
Yeah, okay.
This is not as straightforward as LBC, is it? LBC, it always seems so simple.
Yeah,
okay,
now he's back.
Now he's back. Gavin. Still can't hear you. Right. Gavin, nod if this is correct. Are you using a Windows operating system? Yes. Are you using... okay, in that case, bottom right-hand corner, you've got the clock. Next to the clock, you've got the speaker icon right next to the clock. Right-click. If you right-click on that, I have to do this, yeah, because my guests are really terrible, and they are all completely useless when it comes to computers. Right-click and go to recording devices. Okay, and you should now have sound, and there you're on the recording tab. Nod your head. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What is your default device? Let me see if I can lip read. Chris, could you work that out? If anybody can work this out in the comments.
It says mic.
Microphone. It should be microphone. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear. This is ridiculous. How can we do this? That is correct. That is the way it should be. Okay. What I want you to do is, please, Gavin, if you wouldn't mind, disconnect from this call and make a test Skype call. Do you know how to do that? When you are on that... Oh, he's gone. Okay. I was going to say, when you do that, you can check your inputs and outputs. Chris, you're not very good with your PC either, are you?
I'm really... What do you mean I'm not very good with my PC?
You're not very PC or good with your PC. Have you got me or what? Actually.
I've been dealing with PCs for 40 years.
You're very anti-PC altogether. You do, actually, don't you? Yeah, you do.
What?
You're one of these Microsoft certified people. What does that involve?
That's right. MCP, MCSD, MCSE. Now, the MCP is a Microsoft certified professional. The MCSD
is that like TCP/IP?
Eh?
Is that like TCP/IP?
No. Got nothing to do with TCP/IP. MCP is just the professional once you pass a MCSD, which is the Microsoft certified developer, which is Visual Basics.
What's that got to do with national car parks?
That's as bad as having sex on an aeroplane. What's he got to do with that? Nothing.
I don't know.
Microsoft certified engineer is obviously, as you know, to do with networking.
Blimey. That's Lisa back, isn't it? No, that's Gavin.
Yeah, I can hear you all. Can you hear me?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We're getting there.
I won't take credit. The wife did it. You know me better than that, Chris. You know, we're from Yorkshire. As we see it.
Yeah, we're from Yorkshire. Don't worry about us.
Yeah. It takes a long way to get up here, but when we get there in the end.
Okay, let me see if
Good on you, Gavin. Good on you. Anyway, you were going to explain actually who you are, Gavin, because I think Olly obviously has no idea that you're my boss.
No idea.
Basically, I know Chris from the party, basically, politics.
I'm sorry.
So I made sure that the rules are adhered to within the branches. I make sure that, quite frankly, which is difficult at times.
Chris doesn't get told.
No. Chris is one of the easy ones. Chris is actually, he won't mind me saying this, he's one of the few that actually sort of, how can I put this, passionate in the right way. And that's all political parties. Each political party's got great people. Each political party's got, dare I say it, not so great people.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Gavin.
And we have our fair share of,
passionate.
It's just the way it is. I mean, Chris is passionate, very, how can I put it, puts up some really good articles out there, I have to say,
Yeah, but don't say I'm loud and chatty, because I'm not. I'm a very quiet person.
Well, I won't go that far. But no, I mean, but our party's going under our party's going for a heck of a lot at the moment, but it's going for a restructuring and all sorts going on at the moment, which is badly needed actually. But it needs to be. We pride ourselves on being, I don't know, the people's army. So I don't necessarily agree with that terminology. It sounds like we're like Momentum or something. We're not. I prefer the people's voice really. Our members are the power. Our members are everyone's equal in my eyes. The leader down to the person that's just a normal good member.
Tell me, what sort of an influx has there been since the leadership campaign has been underway, or since folks knew it was coming on the stage? Just out of interest, has the grassroots changed in any way?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I can speak for my branch, if that mirrors it, if that makes sense. Obviously, my branch is Barnsley. We've had quite a few young uns join us now that are just people that sort of understand that UKIP isn't just about Europe. Obviously, that was our most single important thing, and clearly, we can go on all night about where we are in Brexit. I said on the 23rd of June, by the way, last year, or 24th, that we've achieved a great victory, but that's all it was. It wasn't the end by any stretch of the imagination. And I did say, I suspect in 2019 we'll still be in the EU, and I stand firm on that one. And sadly, I think I'm being proved correct. But anyway, we've had a lot of young ones, to be fair, and it was badly needed, really. I think Chris would back me up on that. That we did need new young people with new ideas, because they were born in a different era to me, and I find them they're more sort of now. How can I put it? They come up with great ideas, I mean, just got to look at the leadership election, for example. We've got Anne-Marie. Always forget what you think of Anne-Marie's politics or not. She's 39 years old. That's very young in political terms. You got you got JRE, very young guy again. Very clever, self-made man, retired at the age of 36.
John Rhys Evans.
Yes.
What do you guys think about the leadership campaign and the way it's being conducted, and by the party, and by the candidates, and the way it's being perceived by the media? Basically, how's UKIP doing? I suppose.
I think I can start by saying, well, it's only since yesterday the media have actually picked up on this and decided that they're going all out for Anne-Marie. Yes, she does say a lot of far-right things.
What do you mean? They're going for her?
They're picking on her, saying that we're anti-Islamic.
They're not supporting her.
Sorry?
The media isn't supporting her. You mean they're going for the jugular?
No, they're going full guns for her, saying what UKIP is now becoming. And UKIP is actually not becoming.
Do you think the media would like her to win?
No.
Are you sure?
I think the establishment would. I think the establishment would.
That's really the same question, isn't it?
I don't know. I think certain elements. I think certain elements, to be fair. I think the BBC would. Makes good headlines, good story.
But she obviously is intending to split the party. There are many members who are straight down the line. We all agree with her. However, we all believe that she's diplomatic enough to be standing up as a leader when she just blurts it out.
Surely nobody who's actually standing is intending to split the party.
I don't necessarily agree with you on that one, Ollie. Because sadly, more politics is done behind closed doors than it is, as you know, open and honest in front.
Okay.
An example, we've got 11 candidates currently, as we sit here now, that we know of anyway.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes now, people will be talking and people will be dropping out. I suspect people will be getting behind, the establishment will be getting behind Peter Whittle, because he is the establishment, that's what he is. I think he's got a cheek, personally, I think he's got a bit of a cheek standing. He was our deputy through the worst year in our history, arguably. Yes. And he has to take some blame for that. If he had stood up on day one, and said, "Look, I made mistakes, but I've learnt from them. I'll make sure they never." I would have gone, "You know what? I might have you wrong," but he didn't.
Why did I never hear? Why did I never really hear who this guy was until this leadership? Why didn't I hear about him when he was deputy leader?
Because
he stood in the background.
Yes, I mean, Chris is. I can, Stoke campaign. That's probably the worst run campaign, arguably.
Was that the one where Paul Nuttall went to live there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
It didn't work, did it? It didn't work.
I mean, I can't really say too much, but the person that advised him to get dressed in Liverpool,
it's the Saturday night edition.
In Stoke, to try to convince the voters that he was actually from Stoke is unbelievable, really.
It was silly.
I mean, that's sort of the ineptness at the highest level.
It was silly.
Yeah, but let's get back to this.
Paul. Sorry, go on.
Olly,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I just want to say something about splitting the party. In the sense that a lot of us will leave because I personally am not racist. I've never campaigned on a race issue. But I do believe in controlled immigration.
Do you think that she's racist?
This is a position about space rather than race. And I'm not prepared to support someone who seeks to single out a section of society simply due to their religious beliefs.
So she's saying Muslim as opposed to Muslimist. Islamist.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
She says they're evil.
What?
She described them as evil.
Irrespective. That's crazy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've met Anne-Marie a couple of times, and I have to say, when I stood for Peace Crime Commissioner a couple of years back, Anne-Marie gave me a dossier of the sort of her work that she had done in relation to the grooming gang in Rotherham. And I have to say, the work she gave me was utterly professional. I have to say that, and be candid and open and honest. Yeah. However, my worry with Anne-Marie is not so much Anne-Marie, it's the people she's got round her. That's my concern. Yes. Because we're here to talk. We are voting for a leader, right? That's who we're voting for. So I do look at the policies, obviously, in the politics of the people, but I actually look for leadership qualities before anything else. Has that person got the necessary leadership qualities that I look for? Selfless commitment, determination, courage. The
right policies has to be at the top of the list, surely.
Yes, but
you've got to have policies. The only policy she has is saying that Muslims are evil, and really that is her only policy.
Well, but doesn't she have a policy about Brexit? That's what everybody wants.
Your dreams, in your dreams.
I mean, I've read her manifesto, and there is some good stuff in there, I have to say. But
what is she?
The but.
Go on.
The but is Olly, right? Where you know yourself, right? Let's say she wins on the 28th of September. The 29th, I can see the press headlines already.
Yeah, me too.
every interview that she has will always relate back to Islam. Now that's not her necessarily.
Everything.
Yes.
It actually puts. Sorry, carry on.
That takes the party down the wrong line.
It also takes the country down the wrong line. It puts Brexit itself in jeopardy.
I also do think where Anne-Marie is concerned, do I think she's got qualities? 100% I do, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Do I think... But that's where a leader comes in. A good leader can actually get the best out of people to serve our party. Right? That's what you're looking for. Bring them all together and get the best quality. But the trouble we've had as a party since actually, dare I say it, actually before the referendum, if we're honest, there's been fighting going on. There's been people sort of being turned into careerists, dare I say it. And
right. Well, like career politicians.
Yeah, because, and I actually believe...
In UKIP, that's quite a brave kind of a career politician, isn't it? Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I think the turning point for UKIP was... Now, I know what he said was out of order. I get all that. But we don't bow ourselves down to the establishment and the establishment media. We'd never do it. But we did do it over Godfrey Bloom. Now, we should have shown strength there in unity, but we didn't. And I found that, at the time, strange. I found it weird that we never stuck up for him.
Gavin, remind me, sorry, excuse my ignorance, but for other people as well, remind me who Godfrey Bloom is.
Like Godfrey Bloom, it was the MEP for Yorkshire North Lincolnshire. Now, Godfrey, I've only met him once, so there's no favouritism here. Godfrey says as
I've met him a few times.
Godfrey's probably, well, it's not probably, actually, he is. He was definitely the best economic mind within UKIP, and I would argue the best economic mind, or certainly the top 5 in politics, no matter what party they are. Wow. He's very, very shrewd.
Yeah, I do remember him. I have heard him interviewed in debates, and he sounded quite impressive. Carry on, sorry. Yeah,
he's a very clever guy. So the party should have stuck up for him and shown a bit of loyalty. Yes, he made a mistake. Yes,
what was his mistake?
Well, he hit. Well, I look back now. Well, he hits your man over the head with a newspaper. Michael Crick. He's not a fan of
Michael Crick. I mean, Michael Crick can be quite funny. I know his establishment, but he can be quite funny. Anyway, carry on.
It's Michael Crick. So the reality is, we should have been stronger. He said, obviously, some other.
Why did he do that? Word. Michael Crick, I bet, was egging him on, though.
Of course, Michael does best. Michael wants you to do something like that.
That's right.
So I mean, the other joke with Michael is.
So what happened to Bloom? Sorry, go on.
Well, the party came out and, basically they got rid of him, didn't they, Chris? Really,
Yes, they didn't support him.
Yeah,
they didn't support
that's bad. Yeah, okay, I hadn't realised that. That's silly. He made a mistake at the worst.
Because, you know, personally, you know, let's say, for argument's sake, John Rhys Evans wins.
Yeah.
I would hope, and I know for a fact, certainly John Rhys Evans GRE will definitely be going, you know, be speaking to Godfrey in very short time. Because
yes,
he's Godfrey, as I said, he's a, you know.
But also, he did mention he was speaking to Stephen Wolfe and Diane James and a few others that have left.
About what?
In the hope of bringing them back into the party.
Oh, really? What, JRE? John Rhys Evans you're talking about here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
now,
how do you guys think
with them
about...
apparently,
is he still the favourite?
In my eyes, yes, because I think if we look at the other 10, they're actually not a patch on him. He is actually a leader. He's made himself millionaire.
You do prefer
he knows
him.
What he's doing.
Right. What did he make his money doing?
Any questions that you ask.
What did he make his money doing, Chris, out of interest?
I think it was more service side.
I mean, I know, Chris, I know the answer to this, mate. If I may.
Go on, then you tell that.
Yeah, because that was a very ambiguous answer.
He basically, he did like pizza run jobs, washing pots and all sorts, to make enough money to go over to Africa to originally climb some of the peaks out there, because he's a bit of a
the Kilimanjaro, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So then he went out to Uganda and whatever, and Kenya, and he set up his own business up there, you know, for basically, you know, for, dare I say it, fairly wealthy people to go up and climb mountains. Wow. And he won a contract through his actually, dare I say, ingenuity, making himself appear to be a bigger company than what he was. And he turned it around, and he went, there's 500, give or take, there's about 500 of these companies in existence, and he was ranked in the top 3. If that.
Wow. And so that is kind of like upmarket tourism, basically.
In a way, yeah, he does, yeah, and I think he does other things as well. He's a very clever man.
Okay, all right. So he's self-made, basically. Now, I mean, that has got to be a good thing. He's also an international character, by the sounds of that. He's physically traded in you know, diverse environments, so that's good. Well, he's quite young, isn't he? What is he? Early 40s.
I mean, I don't want to speak, you know, too soon because he might be listening. But he's probably, dare I say, he's around.
Probably drunk by now. It's a Saturday night. This is the Saturday night edition. We're letting our hair down a wee bit. Sorry, carry on, Gavin.
He's about 42, I think. Give or take.
He's about 40. I thought he was 45. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so, I'll tell you what it is. He was born in 1974. Well, how that works out.
Right. Okay.
43.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Right. So he's 45-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
Give or take, yeah.
Okay,
but,
fine.
Yeah, I mean,
you both feel that way? Do you agree with Chris, Gavin, that he is leading the pack? And
yeah, I mean, we don't. The trouble with our, you know, if we look at the figures, because figures don't lie. You know, in Diane, because obviously we have an annual leadership election, as you know, Ollie. Diane James's election, we had 19,000 something that voted out of 34, 35. In Nuttall's, it was 16,000. So there's an argument. Then maybe say 14 to 15,000 at most, which makes
15,000 votes. 15,000 members.
Well, members that will actually vote. That you could argue roughly.
Okay.
That.
Yeah.
He got 2,700 last time. And he's more popular now, and he's done a lot more for the party in this last year than anyone, if I would argue. Right. So more people know him, you know, because we have a lot of elderly people that don't go to branches, don't really, you know, interact. They're not really that active. So they won't know the names, but they will know him from, you know, branch meetings, the general election campaign, because he literally went around making videos for quite a lot of candidates at very short notice, to be fair. Right. You know, because he's got his own little media sort of crew that go around and make these professional videos, of which he did one for the candidate where I live. But he believes in direct democracy. That's why he's popular. He believes that every member gets a vote on our policies.
Okay, hold on. Repeat that. Sorry, let's repeat that.
But
because I was going to ask you about
democracy. That's why he's popular. He believes that every member gets a vote on our policies.
Every member gets a vote. Okay, hold on. Repeat. Sorry, repeat that. Just a second.
Because he believes in direct democracy. That's why he's popular. He believes that every member gets a vote on our.
Sorry, my fault. Okay, all right. Blimey. So I think we all heard about that policy anyway. Right. So is that particularly his USP? Is that his? Is that his USP?
His USP is empowering the membership and is actually empowering the people of our great nation. Because if, let's say he wins the election and we get an MP, that MP will roll out direct democracy to the people of his or her constituency on the big decisions. So, for an example, bombing of Syria, because it's such a major decision.
Yes.
The people could vote. Before the vote takes place in the House of Commons, so that MP will know how reality is. They should vote for their constituency. Like Dan Jarvis, my MP, he voted for Syria. The overwhelming on the ground within Barnsley, again, that would never happen.
How does that physically work? Let's say that
it's very
the
easy.
government in power has direct democracy. How would that affect, for example, the process of Brexit?
Well, perfect. Brexit is perfect. Right. Barnsley was 68.7% that voted to leave. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Right. For various reasons, and when the Article 50 vote, where Dan Jarvis was and ahhing at the time, and obviously he came around and voted for it, he could have technically put it on his own webpage, this is the parameters, which way do you want to vote? Now, the elderly that go shopping in town on a market day, in his office, he could have had a wall just saying, put down your thing. He would have known which way to vote or not way to vote, I'd have argued. Right. It's empowering the people. It's about empowering the people.
It's definitely going to create more of a debate, isn't it?
Well, that's it. At the end of the day, there's certain bills.
But on the other hand, do people want that debate, Gavin? Just out of interest, just debating. There's
the big issue.
Point about direct democracy, because people don't talk about it a lot. It's a good thing to talk about for a bit of a while. Sorry, carry on.
On the big issues, definitely, Ollie. I mean, the bombing of Syria I named before. HS2 is a massive thing in my local area. We've got brand new housing estates that are going to get knocked down. Now,
are people aware of what's going on? I've just taken that issue as an example. In your area, are people aware of what's going on with HS2 and how it affects their community?
Well, some of them are. Those that are affected are. Those that aren't. However, if you get it on his page, for example, his MEP page, right, saying like HS2 is going to be doing, very impartial. It's going to do this good stuff and it's going to do this negative. These are the impacts. How do you feel? People would become more aware. They'll become more aware on the big issues, not on about legislation and stuff that really, quite frankly, just goes under the. I'm talking about the big decisions that affect people on everyday life. I like this idea. I have to say. I mean, just personally, it seems to me it's a good idea that more people are involved in the political process, and any way we can encourage that. But a lot of people would say, I imagine, and a lot of you could argue, Ramonas have said, but a lot of people say that people don't know what they vote for a lot of the time. And for example, the last election, people didn't know what they were voting for with regards to the student fees that Corbyn said, apparently, and about all sorts of things. So it does make sense. But I think we know as a democracy more and more that we really need clarity and transparency from our politicians and our political process. But are people actually bothered enough really to see that through? Or are we getting to the point that we are keener
to see that through. I know a lot of young people are. The problem is they've got no experience of life. But
no, yeah. I mean, you know, we can't have it both ways. You know, my age, right. 48. You know, we've always complained that youngsters don't get involved. So when they do get involved and it doesn't go our way, arguably last general election, we can't complain. That's just not right.
Well, you can if they're voting twice, but that's a slightly different issue.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, clearly, you know, that is that's going to be its ugly head again, I suspect.
Yeah,
but
that's
you know, but the reality is, you can't have it both ways. You wanted them to get more involved; they got more involved. Did they vote the way I wanted them to vote personally? Of course not. However, they voted. That's right and fitting. Obviously, they voted twice, some of them, but that's the way life is. And we've got to accept that. But I think it's
incredible the increase in the stat from an average of about 18 to 24-year-olds. Normally, about a third of them vote or something, and it went up to about 75%. It's just incredible statistic, incredible jump. But anyway, just as an aside, I just found that most perplexing. Frankly, I could have a jump into the 50s. Yeah, I could see that. Into the 70s, I just thought there's something wrong there. I just thought that was unbelievable. Yeah, but I mean, we're changing subject a bit.
I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, Ollie and Chris, but I personally believe in proportionate representation. Certainly at local,
I do.
Local councils.
Yes, of course, we all do.
I do think it's more urgent of a need at local council level than it is at the MP one initially. Personally,
yeah, he's best known for advocating direct democracy within the party, but I also think he's going to take it a step further and actually implement it throughout the country, whereby you can actually walk in when you buy your lottery ticket and give your ID and be able to vote directly from the machine next to the lotto ticket.
I mean, I had to laugh. Did you see, Chris, Ollie? Did you see the Kenyan? Did you see the Kenyan ones where they did the fingerprinting?
Yes.
No, I didn't. I mean, I've heard about that today, but I didn't hear about the fingerprinting. No.
Well, no, Ollie. This is it.
There was the Kenyan election today, wasn't there? And right now, I think they're in a state of emergency because somebody doesn't like the result. Basically, carry on. Yeah.
Well, that's always the case. That's always the case, isn't it?
Yeah, but I found
a couple of dozen people are dead, but. Yeah. That kind of not liking the result.
Yeah.
What I found amusing is we're supposed to live in like one of the most advanced countries in the world, and yet we don't do fingerprinting.
Yeah.
No. We do pieces of paper, and Kenya do fingerprinting. Unbelievable. You couldn't write it really. It's ridiculous.
Gavin, we've done lots of voting and lots of checking about on Facebook as to what would people want to be able to be identified. And a lot have said, yes, we would like ID cards. A lot of saying, no, we like our security. But all I can suggest is the best way to do it is when you are born, you should have your DNA taken and given to you with an NU number. So you've got a national insurance number, got your ID book. Sorry?
Chris. I mean, I have, it does. My instinct, my libertarian instinct tells me, oh my God, I'm running away from these ideas. I don't see that we have any choice now, though.
Well, the Liberal Democrats are around the corner if you want to join them.
Mate, there's nothing Lib Dim about being worried about ID cards.
We cannot carry on without, I lived in South Africa for 26 years. I had an ID book. He told me my date, my age, whether I was married, whether I had a driving license, whether I had a gun license, or any other license that I may have done. He gave my blood type. He told anybody who wanted to know who I was everything about me. And there was nothing wrong with it. Now in South Africa, it's imperative that you actually have it on you at all times because you can be stopped and asked these questions.
We've got Mark Childs here as well, and he's got a Guinness on the go.
See Mark.
Good evening.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, Mark. How are you, man? What do you think about this then? What did you? Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Go on, you can join him, Mark. We'll let you
come in on a conversation. So where were we at? About the
election? We were talking about John Rhys Evans' direct democracy angle, and something that we were all chipping in various ideas about it. I mean, it does seem that we need people to get more involved, and we need them to be genuinely involved. Have you heard of this, you three? Have you heard of this thing, internetocracy, which is it's an internet-driven initiative whereby people become more involved online. It applauds, for example, a Swiss model of democracy where people tend to have
a referendum for everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I think that should be the case. I really do. People should have the option of being able to vote for specific items that we are now at the moment allowing our government to take over and control. And a lot of people are not accepting it. It's just not happening.
Do you think that politics, people would take it seriously enough, or would it be a bit like doing your shopping?
I don't know. It depends on how you do your shopping, Ollie.
Haphazardly.
You know, you can't just go to the bottle store and fill up and go home. You know.
I go to the grocers too. Yeah.
Oh, do you know? Right.
I mean, Ollie, you know, the direct democracy route is one that is the future, arguably. Yeah. I can see parties following our lead again, as normal. But the reality is we've got to beat them to the punch here, literally.
What do you mean by that?
What we've got to get it installed so it becomes ours. It defines us. So,
we're running out of time. Once automation sets in and everybody's lost their jobs, that's what I meant by that question. Are we running out of time?
Yeah, I agree.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen? That's a really big, like...
Are you now changing the subject before we finish?
Yeah, a bit. We can meander. We'll come back. We'll keep coming back.
What's going to happen? Very simple, really. I predict there'll be a financial crash in the next, I don't know, 10 months, 11 months.
Yeah.
And certain authorities will use this. Certain authorities will use this.
As a Brexit reason, yeah.
I think that's one.
What, to keep us in?
Also, they'll use it. They'll use it. The Blairites.
I agree with you. Never neglect a crisis.
Yeah, correct. I also feel, you know, let's cut to the chase. You're military. I'm an ex-military man, as you know. My parents are, you know, my brothers and my wife and my dad. We've done over 120 years between us for a Queen country. The European Army is there. It's reality. All the machinery, I like guns, the 105s, now are made in France. You know, we are now going to be, you know, a European army. And once you've lost your army to a federal thing, we ain't leaving.
What is the deal with that? Because through the campaign, that question kept coming up. What's going on about an EU army? And it's not going to happen. That was the government line. That's what Cameron said, as far as I can recall. And now, within days of the referendum, there are all these stories coming out about, you know, Juncker and whatnot. They're saying that they want this thing. And then I'm hearing from people like you that say, no, it exists already. It's already there.
It does exist. We were signed up to it before the referendum.
Why? What? That people talk about the 350 million, you know, a week lie, the single, you know, lie or fabrication or misleading statement or whatever from the Leave campaign. The Remain campaign, some of these lies were just incredible. Apart from the fact there was impending global, you know, and all that. This isn't a huge thing. So how were we signed up for that without realising it?
Well, Mrs. May said Brexit means Brexit. I mean, also, we've heard the Prime Minister say so often.
Ollie, do you know what the issue is with the military? Sorry, Mark. Do you know what the issue with the military is that no one's actually thought of? Right, the military's number one primary job is welfare of the state, i.e., flooding, strikes,
defence of the realm.
Correct. That's the number one priority. It's not Afghanistan or Iraq or that.
That's right.
That's number 2 or 3, right?
Sure.
People don't see that. Could you imagine, right? Let's just say, argument's sake, we're still in the EU. with the European army, we would have to get permission to get soldiers to go on our streets to stop flooding. Or flooding back. Could you imagine it?
Yeah.
It takes them about 5 years to make a decision on something else. So
That's right.
It's,
But also,
reality,
more concerningly,
believe it was
their
March
decision
last
will be
year.
biased. When would they say yes, and when would they say no? That's a hell of a thing to give a foreign power to decide.
Correct.
when you can use your own army, when you can and when you cannot, and that's a hell of a thing.
What's the stop? What's the stop? Years down the line, if we have the European army, we have soldiers based in Germany and all these other barracks, right? And we have a German, say, battalion, argument's sake, based on our shores, a French one, an Italian one.
Yeah.
Like, these are the realities. And
that's definitely not going to happen because we will get our Brexit. We are not going to be part of this European army. Despite the fact we were signed up to it last year, it is not going to happen. We were illegally signed up to it, just like we were illegally signed up to the EU.
Who signed that up? Who signed it?
Mr. Heath.
Well,
No.
Ted Heath signed us. Well, that would have been David Cameron.
This army thing.
Yeah, it would.
Cameron.
David Cameron, yeah.
I mean, Ollie, ask you a question here now, Chris, Mark. During the general election of a few months ago, no political party, as in Labour and the Tories, ever mentioned the military of any description or the European army. I've gone through the archives. They didn't.
No.
I found that strange. It was as if someone had told them, do not mention it. Don't talk about it. Right? It was strange. And it was eerie. So I suspect people were told, do not mention the European army. Do not mention the forces in the military at any stage. Don't mention it. Because they didn't. None of them did. I mean, Corbyn's not going to anyway. Let's be honest.
No.
But the Tories didn't. And the Tories always talk about the military. Because it's normally a vote banker for them.
Why are they not?
Because I think Theresa May. I mean, I don't mean like the woman anyway. But, I mean, I'm not a fan of I've got a few friends at the Tories, but they're good people. Sort of.
They've changed. They're no longer a true UK Conservative Party, are they?
Yeah, but
if they were a true UK Conservative Party, their first concern, as you said, would be the defence of the realm and looking after the military, and you wouldn't have homeless veterans.
Ollie, but this. Yeah, but this is, again, another cover-up. It's another cover-up. Britain has repeatedly blocked plans for an integrated European defence policy. But other member states that have warned it cannot expect to have a say in issues post-Brexit. So it means that we have no say in it.
How does this physically work? How does this physically work? How are these military guys...
we're not coming out.
That means we're not coming out.
That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it.
We may come out under the Tory government, but what will happen is that the people will wake up and they will realise, and then UKIP will get elected into government. If we don't get out under the Tories, we will get out under UKIP.
I think the Tories, obviously, the Labour Party is a mess anyway. That's a misconception that everything's rosy there, because it's not. My local MP, he's worried about deselection.
Really? Is he? Is he a Blairite?
Dan Jarvis. Oh yeah, Christ, yeah.
They need to be deselected.
I think he's got a picture above his door. Actually,
is his constituency a Leave or Remain constituency?
Yeah. I mean, momentum's getting bigger and bigger the day here. Hillary Benn will be another one. He'll be gone.
He should be, because he's not acting like a Labour man at all. I can't believe it when he stood up and gave that speech about getting involved in Syria. I thought his father must be spinning in his grave.
Yeah, his dad, to be honest, he's one of the last few decent politicians that we might know. Jacob Rees-Mogg is the only one, in my opinion, that he speaks eloquently, never puts anyone down. He's the cleverest person amongst them, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone goes like David Davis.
And David Davis from Monmouth. Not the Brexit necessary.
Oh, yeah, the other one. Yeah,
Davies from...
But
really? I didn't know there was another David Davis. the Commons.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He spoke at
There's
one
two
of
of
our
them. You've got the ex-military one, Dave Davis, who's the Brexit minister. He's quite local to us, actually.
There's
But
one or
he,
two prominent Brexiteers in the Tory party. I can't remember their names offhand, but they're backbenchers. But
Mr. Gove.
no, backbenchers. Very prominent in the campaign. Bishop or something.
Yes, you've got Patel. You've got Patel.
Petty, yeah, Petty, pretty.
Petty Patel.
You got Bone.
No, I mean,
Bone, Peter Bone. That's who I'm thinking about. I mean, there are one or two folks who really do seem to be absolutely all there for Brexit, the kind of thing. But none of these people are in that cabinet. None of them.
Yes.
No, none of them.
You know.
But you get Ian Duncan Smith is one, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not in the cabinet either. And he's very good. He's very good.
Yeah, he is very good. The issue for us as a party, personally, is the establishment would love nothing more for Anne-Marie Walsh to win. Why? Because if there was, God forbid, another second referendum, we've suddenly lost all our foot soldiers.
Yes.
That's a reality. You know, the people that would go on the market stalls, leaflets, campaigning, holding balls up on the M1 and the M6 and all around the motorways. We would lose arguably the army that we've got. Yeah. And that's the issue. That is an issue.
I've been saying that on this show, that Anne-Marie Waters is a vote for the establishment, really. It seems to me, to be honest with you, whatever her qualities as well as, the downside, the fact is that if UKIP goes on a focus of anything that isn't about Brexit, really, just pure Brexit, it's going to damage the Brexit process. It's just going to add another distraction for the fake stream media to pontificate about, and that's the problem. No, the distraction.
Yes.
Look, we've got all these 11 candidates that have been allowed to stand because that is the reason why they're standing is to damage the party, because they haven't had their external vetting as promised. They've had very minimal checks done. In fact, all they've had done is an interview, of which most of it's been by telephone, and most of it's been carried out by Steve Crowler, who thinks he's got all the power. He's the interim leader.
Right.
So, no checks have been done on these people. We know about Anne-Marie Walters, and the media are going to have an absolute circus with us and rip us apart over it. Now, I dare say that there's at least several others, and in fact, one
Why has
that
the
I know
party not been vetted?
definitely shouldn't stand. And I'm not going to mention that person,
right?
But if you look into the history of that person, if you look into their business dealings, some things that have some articles that are on the website about how they've been targeted and who they've been targeted by,
right.
It makes you very suspicious of why you would even allow this person to stand, if not to damage the party. Because if I can find this stuff, then the media that's got access to this stuff and more financial records and basically anything that they want to get their hands on will find this information, and they will dig up the dirt on every single person. Now, there's only one person that's actually been vetted, and who do you think that is?
Mr. Evans.
Yep.
Mr. Evans.
Yep.
So
Is
why?
he actually
Why
the
just
only
him?
qualifying
Why just him?
person?
Because they were
Because he's been done
hoping
before.
to find something, eh?
It was done in the last leadership contest.
Right.
I mean, the one thing that we have to do, though, Ollie, is on the 28th of September, is, let's say, for an example, John Rhys Evans wins or whatever. Everybody's got to come together and prepare ourselves with a general election possibly next March, firstly. Secondly, we have to prepare ourselves that we have to fight another referendum. So get ourselves in campaign mode, basically, 24/7. Now, John Rhys Evans, obviously we spoke about direct democracy, but he's also got Media Connect, Media Direct as well.
What are those two things?
Well, Direct is basically, it's a system of. I've had a blank fade there. Well, Connect is the most important thing for us. It gives us a media outlet.
Yep.
For an example, so it gives us, so for an argument's sake, weeks ago there was a march against extremism by the football fans. Very innocent. No one was hurt. There was no trouble whatsoever. There was a media blackout on it. We got the Veterans March on the 9th of September. There'll be a media blackout on that again against Northern Ireland. To tell the truth, what's going on in our. So the idea is it will get out there to tell the truth about what's actually physically going on in our country. Now he's got all that paid for and costed and everything else. So there's so we've got a lot of things going on, but we have to get our own house in order, and that's simple. We've got to get our structure right. We've got to get good people, in the right places. I didn't realise I'd knocked on over 6,800 doors in the last year and a half myself. Because wherever I go, I knock on 50 doors. So if I'm in, say, for example, Grimsby, I'll go knock on 50 doors. To get feedback, quite instantly. I ask the same question, what's the best place, for example, in Grimsby? What's the best thing about Grimsby? And then my second question is always the same. Everywhere I go, I was in Scotland last week, on 3 places in Scotland, is what's the one thing you would change? What would you change to make your life better? What would you change? And that is the data we're going into. And that is something that I've got all that data. And John Rhys Evans, we were able to implement all that into basically the systems that he's got, which will aid and help our candidates. And so we are going to 20. We're sort of, if he wins, I think Chris will back me up on this, you will see a massive influx of people. And I dare I say it, we can't do much worse than what we've done recently, but we'll get a lot better.
Yeah,
I want to ask you.
We'll be a lot more professional in anything we do.
Yes.
The Connect is basically a server with information collected from details of previous elections, previous faults we've made, employing or assigning specific people for specific jobs, what they are fully educated about. For instance, computer software, server software, media presentations. The NEC apparently is going to fall away. And members will be able to select from a group of people who have offered a CV for specific positions within the party that can actually do a job for a specific area that the party needs.
So that's a bit like select. This is when you talk about direct democracy.
This is now becoming a business. It's a party. It's not a shambles. It's becoming more professional, more like a company, where we're having to but to take on people that can actually do a job, as opposed to having an NEC that's full of receptionists and telephone answerers. That is not what we want. We need to be able to say to the NEC, the membership wants this. What are we going to do about it? And then we need to have an explanation as to why, or yes or no. And this is where we've got to go.
Let's not forget affiliate here as well, which is going to stimulate trade. So that basically is everyone that signs up for affiliate, direct affiliate. So obviously businesses sign up for this
affiliates.
And affiliate. Yes. It's to offer trade between UKIPs as members basically. So you sign up for affiliate, and say if I'm looking for someone to carry out fire extinguishers on my behalf, I'd look on the list. I would obviously contact someone that's registered themselves as able to do that, and we would start trading.
Like UKIP's becoming the round table.
Well, no, it'll be a boardroom. More of a boardroom sort of scenario. It will be full of professional people as opposed to a bunch of nobodies.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So that presumably is just teething problems that any political party is going to go through. And in the case of UKIP, it wasn't. I mean, what was it? Was it not Jimmy Goldsmith who set it up all those years ago. And it was quite small until Farage developed it and created the referendum opportunity. And then in the last election, I was expecting not its popularity, but its vote force to diminish, because like me, a lot of people thought, I'll vote Tory because it's the most likely way now to send home the message that we want that Brexit that the referendum promised us. And it's the best way to secure that. But if they fail in that, the next election down the road, UKIP's going to get that surge. And I don't think that UKIP, people say, I think it was mentioned tonight earlier on the show, the UKIP has lost popularity. I don't think it has. I think that it's been put on ice as a it was, but it is time. It's absolutely certain that UKIP does need to be an effective, at least very effective pressure group, preferably with seats. But
this is the problem with
for that to happen, who else could possibly do that? JRE maybe is one guy. It sounds to me as though Anne-Marie Waters or anybody that's going to talk about it sounds to me as though basically she's not going to pull the grassroots behind her. Who else could pull the grassroots behind them and put Brexit first?
What we need a team of John Rhys-Evans and Henry Bolton. It's something that I'm working on to try and get the two of them together.
Who's Henry Bolton?
Have amazing skills.
Who's Henry?
And Henry, as good a guy as he is not going to be able to raise his profile to win the contest. Although he would be very good as leader, as would John Rhys-Evans. So if John Rhys-Evans was to win, which he could, with the backing of Henry and the Henry supporters.
Sorry, can you remind me who Henry is?
He stood as the police and crime commissioner in Kent. He's done many things around the world. He's negotiated many deals. He's been part of setting up many security services and police forces around the world. His CV is absolutely amazing.
So you look at him as a deputy?
No, as a chairman. I would see him as a chairman. Yeah.
My only worry about Henry, and I let me know him, is when you launch your campaign in Dover, is he going to appeal to the members around our neck of the wood? He's not a chance.
No, but there was a reason. They were very significant for launching it in Dover, because obviously one of the key policies is to protect our borders, which obviously Dover is one of our biggest borders.
Mark, he could talk about the borders in Leeds. He could talk it in the Midlands. If you want to stand in the leadership election, you want to have as many members there as possible. Our party's been very much London-centric, or certainly down south. I don't know Henry. I know of him. As for chairman, I have my reservations, personally. And that is very, I think he's a good guy, don't get me wrong. I think he's got a bright future, definitely, 100%. But chairman, people skills, that's what you need, people skills. Someone that can motivate people. Someone that actually, gets the best out of people even when they don't want to do something. And I'm afraid, I could be wrong, motivate people. Someone that actually...
Sorry.
When you look at what he's negotiated, clearly he can motivate people. He was in the Paras. Seriously, more people need to... He
wasn't in the Paras, mate. Right. Don't talk about his military history. He wasn't in the Paras. He was a tank driver. Right, that's just quite different. Big difference. Mark, you're talking to an airborne warrior. Why do you think I wear my Pegasus everywhere I go? So let's not go down that military road. The reality is, I like Henry. I do. It's genuine. I do. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great guy, in fact. But we'll wait and see. I do think he's a good guy. I think there's some other good characters, to be fair, that are standing. I think they're leadership material. No, I don't. But I think they're good people. I think they're all good people in their own way. They don't necessarily like them, dislike them. There's only a couple that I would never vote. I wouldn't even contemplate voting for. Peter Whittle would never vote for him even if he was the only one on the ballot. I wouldn't vote for him.
What I find quite interesting, and I've read the rule book right the way through again tonight to check something out. It's quite amazing to me that someone that's been bankrupt or had serious financial problems can still withhold a position within the party. So bearing in mind, anyone that's on the NEC are registered as directors of the party.
Correct. Correct.
And so if you're bankrupt, you're not allowed to be a director of a company for 10 years past the clearance of your bankruptcy.
That's
and
correct.
I think insolvency has 5 years. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 years for insolvency. Now, I'm not saying that this is gospel, but certainly one person who's on the NEC and is the treasurer, I believe that he may have been bankrupt within the last 10 years.
To be honest, I wouldn't know about that, Mark. I mean, all I want is, I've always said this, if someone gets elected that can take the party forward, great. I'm happy. If someone doesn't, then you know what? In a way, I'm happy because I go back to my quiet life, have a quiet pint in Torquay, paddle in the sea, whichever. But we've got to get ready for a possible second referendum. That's the most important single thing that we must do, because at the moment we're not. We know it. The establishment know it. We have to get our ducks in a row.
We need to get ready for a second referendum, you're saying. Why do you say that?
Just in case there is one, Ollie. And I know, we're nowhere near it yet. Right? But we have to, just in case there may become one, we need to be ready for it.
Yeah.
We need to get the guys motivated.
I agree with you.
We need to get the guys motivated. Now,
but there's more likely to be an election before another referendum.
Okay.
Well, you need to be ready for both, basically.
I mean, the first thing the leader's got to do, go and do, apart from speaking to Nigel and the donors and everyone else, and the members themselves, is obviously get his team in place. They've got to, I would suggest, go through forget the 2017 manifesto, put that in the skip where it deserves, get the 2015 and spend a week going through it, just to have one on, not necessarily a manifesto, just have something ready to go, so we don't have the manifesto missing the postal vote. And I know,
have you got any policies left on that manifesto that haven't been used by the Conservatives?
I don't actually think the 2017 manifesto was that bad. There's just a lot of stuff in there that needs to be reworded and
I would use
redirected.
Personally, I would get the spokesman with another person, so the spokesman can invite a guest of that sort of knowledge, whatever, right? Because the problem is with UKIP, we overcomplicate things, right? They're not complicated. You get, for an example, right, the spokesman. You get the certain secretaries, the chairman, the leader, the deputy leader. They go through the manifesto page by page. The 2015 I'm on about now, yeah? Make the amendments as they go along. They get a rough draft that night to sleep on, right? And discuss in a bar or whatever, right? We're very good in the bar, UKIP. That's one thing we do get right. The next morning, go through it again, right? And then we go to the bar again because we're very good at it, right? And then the next day you go through it, and you should then have I'm not saying the finished article, but you've got a draft. You've got something there that's not far off what you need for a general election if it was to be called very short notice, for example, right? Because obviously we're going to be trying to implement direct democracy at the same time, but at least you've got something that you can work from. And everyone, the spokesman quite rightly have been, brought on side. They've had their views quite rightly, and they shouldn't be ignored, of which has happened, right? So they can't say they haven't been listened to. And then you've got something there. You've got a working document. Your manifesto's fluid. It's a fluid document. It changes, but at least you've got something. That needs to happen, dare I say it, by the close of play end of January. That's the first thing, and you've got all the restructuring that's going to go on, right?
Yep. That's going to be very vital, the restructuring, definitely.
Who else?
These are things that you've got to do.
Who else is there? Realistically, you would place your trust in to be able to pull the grassroots behind them, to unify the party, to keep the media on side. Well, basically, not being able to somehow placate the media and being someone who is generally proactive towards Brexit. Who else would you say? I'm not saying that you necessarily say that about JRE, but who would you say that about?
Look, for me, the order is that it needs to be John Rhys Evans, Henry Bolton, David Curtin. Now, obviously, with Henry, it's just his profile is not known enough, so I don't think it's going to happen. David Curtin, he's getting a lot of support. He's got the support of Aaron Banks, which obviously I'm not the biggest fan of Aaron Banks, but it's just again whether David could handle the position of leader. He's a great guy. He's a quiet guy. He likes his own privacy. It may be too much for him. John Rhys Evans is really the only person in the position to drive us forward. Anne-Marie Waters, as ever good as a lot of the stuff that she says about Islam is, she's got too many followers from the far right, too many connections. She will make us a single issue party again, and it will destroy the party. All the other people that are standing, they are nowhere near credible enough, they're nowhere near experienced enough, and plus I think that certain things from their background the media will use to their advantage to damage us, and we just will not be able to come back from it.
What about you, Chris?
I think he's left, mate. We cannot be a single issue party again. However important Islam is, the threat of Islam, and we do need to speak about it. We do need to keep the pressure on it. But realistically, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face. We cannot deal with the threat of Islam until we can get to government and use the system to legally protect us and control the threat of Islam. And we can only do that if we're going to get a government which is going to represent the people, which is UKIP. Brexit was the single biggest cause that we were what many people thought that we were fighting, because we were seen as that single issue party, even though we wasn't, because we campaigned on so many things and had so many good policies. And Brexit was the vehicle for us to get our freedom, to be able to tackle the threat of Islam, and it still was not enough to get us in government because people saw us as a single issue party.
Gavin,
we
do you
need to
agree with
not
that?
be PC, and we need to just simply not be a far right party or a right of centre party. We simply need to be the right party for the majority of the people, and that is dealing with everything which is most dear to them.
I think the most important thing, ultimately, is still Brexit. But we have to have other policies. We have to have policies that are credible, that actually affect people's lives for the better. Mm-hmm. And the people that can relate to. We sort of overcomplicate things sometimes, and there's no need to. We know, for example, the foreign aid budget, I would pretty much scrap it down to £1 billion, if I'm honest, for emergencies, personally. And John Rhys Evans has said the same. I would get rid of HS2 tomorrow. I think it's an absolute white elephant. It's yeah, I do, 100%. Again, let's talk HS2. I've been to enough planning meetings because of that HS2. I've had to put needles in my eyelids to keep me awake on them, if I'm honest with you, Ollie. The reality is this: when it finally gets built, who can actually? I live in Barnsley, working town, love the place. Who can actually afford to go on the?
Sorry about that, I disappeared.
It's all right, Chris.
Who could actually afford? Yeah. Who could actually afford to go on HS2 in Barnsley?
How much is it going to cost to go? I don't know where it goes from. What to London?
Well, for us, we're still not going to be in Barnsley anyway. It's going to knock a lot of our housing estates down, but that are brand new, as I said before. So
they've got this thing. Well, it's basically like a TGV in France, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the equivalent sort of thing.
But for 50, I have to go to London for a meeting once a month normally, and it takes me just short of 2 hours. With HS2, they project it's going to be 14 minutes quicker. Yeah,
but
a lot more money.
On most lines, we already have a faster train anyway. If you go to London from Rugby, you've got Midlands or Midlands Central, whatever it's called, and then you've got Virgin trains. Now, the Virgin is, as much as I hate Virgin and Branson, is a more direct, faster line, and obviously you've got the first-class carriages on there. Now, if you look at actually how many people use the first-class carriages, most of that train is wasted. So that's space that's not available for the everyday commuters. So that needs to be cut right down, because this whole first class thing is absolute tosh in my mind. And we just need to use the money that was going to be spent on HS2 to improve existing rail networks and improve existing road networks.
Guys, I just heard, I suspect it was Gavin, opened a can.
Yes, you better get one in.
I'm gonna get one in.
Coffee break.
Baxter, I'm leaving you to it.
No, don't leave it to me. I'm going for a coffee.
No. You've got to hang in there. You've got to hang in. Mark, I'm leaving you to it. Mark.
Yeah, Mark can handle it better than I can. I'm going for a coffee. I'll be back in.
Right.
I'm going now because I'm going to go. I've got ladies football tomorrow. We've got a big game tomorrow, so. Up early. Church.
All right, Gavin. Thank you very much for your time.
Trust. I'll tell you something, Chris. Going back to leadership before I go, all I hope and pray, and I do hope and pray, that it's a positive campaign. Mm-hmm. We talk about the issues really that are concerning the party. There's people are liking it. There's people. I don't really. What the past is the past. We've all got whatever. I just hope that, on the 28th of September, the right person wins that can sort of bring the party together, really bring it together, not just, don't use the word unity, unless you're going to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because one thing I would say is, we've all criticised the NEC at some time. I have, so I'm not criticising people criticising the NEC.
But I get it every day.
But what I'm saying is,
I have no problem. The reason being, Gavin, is because we actually voted for the people that are actually on it at the moment. And if they've got any problems, they should have voted for someone else.
Correct. And so I don't want to criticise the NEC because, yes, I don't agree with some of the things they've done. They might not agree with some of the things I've done. Fine. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Do need change. We know we need change. We know how to get change with whoever. But what we must do, all of us, on the 28th of September, no matter what, because my loyalty is to the members, but it's also to the old people, or anybody for that matter, that goes and puts an X against one of our names in the elections.
Yes.
That's who we owe it to get our shit together, mate.
Yes, of course.
Right? We owe it to them.
Yes.
We owe it to them. So we must, if you don't, I don't care if I get on with someone, I don't take any, we have to.
We're all the same. We're all the same.
We've got together, and I hope wins. Of course I do. That goes without saying. And I think he will. Personally, I do think he will.
Well, if he doesn't, I might just join the Conservatives. I'm embarrassed to say.
But then what we've got to do is
you can shoot me later.
When he does win, any new leader's going to make mistakes. Make no mistake.
Oh yes, of course.
They are going to make mistakes.
But at least he can get himself a decent team round him to back him up. And
so whatever happens, whoever wins, even if it's Anne-Marie Waters, and especially if it's Anne-Marie Waters, I am not going anywhere. I'm here for this party. I'm here for the members. I'm here for the nation. I'm here for our people, and I will fight for our party, and our party will be successful.
The issue is what you've got to understand, though, and I don't think some of the members realise the leader can only do so much. If people think that the leader can come into the party and make massive wholesale changes, that's not actually what actually happens. To do that, there has to be a sequence that you do it in. Now, I know this because I spent 2.5 weekends going through our constitution, the Labour Party constitution, and the Tory Party constitution. I literally had my box shorts on my head and 2 pencils up my nose by the end of it. And I can tell you now, to make fundamental change, John alluded to it the other night in Sheffield, because I spoke to him about it. And, there is an easier way to do it, but that's another issue. But we need, all of us, and that's me included, to more worry about than March next year. Because I tell you now, there's going to be a GE. I actually predicted this summer. I even told a certain chairman that this would happen, and I was laughed at. The actual words were used to me. Gavin, are you seriously suggesting there's going to be a summer election? I said, yes, there is. By the way, that was on January 24th at 11:09. Right?
Blimey.
Come back from home. Right? I'm telling you now, GE next year, pretty much going to happen because of Brexit. We have got to get our ducks in a row. We've got to get a seat. We've got to get people in, I would say, at least 550 seats. That's a tall order. That's a tall order.
Certainly is.
And
right. Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
That's great. That's, you know what? I just realised. I came back. I grabbed my beer, and I thought I was listening to a party political broadcast. And, I tell you, I hope UKIP does well. I hope it does well because it's an important part of this little puzzle. Pardon? Go on, Gavin. Come on.
Our party broadcasts aren't that good.
It's a bit dry, guys.
Graham.
Hello, Graham.
Yeah, Graham Sutherland. Right. Okay.
There's a bit of dry. There's a bit of dryness. Come on, it's a Saturday night, for goodness sake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's right.
He's
right.
There's a bit of dryness going on here.
God bless you, Graham. What have you been doing? I didn't realise you've been on for ages. Yeah.
I've been on for ages, but yeah, listen, I was putting up a workshop. My nephew came down to help me because it's quite big, and we had a lot of joinery to do. So
nice.
We worked until it got dark, and then we went away and got a mixed kebab, and then we came back and just joined your show with a couple of tins of Guinness.
Good on you. Good on you, man.
All right.
Good on you.
So you're already wet then.
So that's Graham Sutherland and Ben Kerr. Ben, yeah? Ben. Hey, Ben.
Yeah, he's in the background.
Good. Okay.
I'm going to go and get myself a coffee.
That kind of show. People come in and out, get themselves a coffee. No worries. Wow. So hold on. We've got we've got about 5 of us on this call now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, somebody just went.
It's getting a bit congested.
You're building a shed, mate?
Building a big shed, yeah.
A workshop?
A workshop, yeah.
Beautiful. And so that's entirely out of wood?
Yes, it's basically just a big shed, but it's got. I'm putting a couple of that box profile steel sheeting you get.
No, not really.
Yeah, for roofing. Well, it's a modern equivalent of
but that's
corrugated
metal.
iron.
That's that. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. But what is it? Aluminium sort of.
It's sort of squarish and it's plastic coated.
Hmm.
So I'm doing the roof with that, but I've also got 4 sections of clear stuff to let in plenty of light.
Right.
Because you can't have too much light in a workshop.
No, that's right. Sure. So
and what I've done is I had some old double glazed doors lying around, wooden frame double glazed doors. So what I've done is I've taken I took a glass of double glazed units out of the doors. They're about 4.5 feet by about 3. So I'm going to use 2 of them for windows.
Right. Is this for you? Is this a project for you or for a client?
No, it's for me.
Right. Because I mean, this is what you do, isn't it? You're a carpenter and a woodman.
I'm a kind of wood guy. Yeah, I'm a kind of wood guy.
You cut it down and do everything with it.
No, nothing like that. This is just a place I need to work. Get a bench and a vise and a compressor and everything in there.
Right.
I like tinkering with things.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Cool. Nice. So your nephew's with you?
He is indeed, yes. He's got a dog lying on his feet called Bluebell.
Oh, what sort of dog?
What sort of dog is it? He's a cross between a Whippet and a Bedlington Terrier.
Why can I not see your video? You didn't allow your video or something?
No, you know what it is? My rabbit chewed through the cable for the video camera. I had a giant rabbit living with me.
I remember you told us. I asked you why you didn't eat it.
Yeah. Oh, you could never eat it. It was called Max.
Yeah, I remember you said, yeah.
So I took it up a mountain and I let it go.
Ollie, you do realise that you're going to have all the Greenpeace and all the animal lovers after you now.
Well, look, it was actually living. It was living in my place in a big dog cage, and I used to let it out, right? And every time I let it out,
how long did you have it?
I had it for 10 months.
Right.
So
why did you have it?
Okay, well, I was building a deck for this guy who is my mechanic. He fixes my cars and trucks and stuff.
Right.
So I built this big deck for him, and he was just absolutely delighted, and his kids were absolutely delighted, and somewhere to put their barbecue and all this. So they've got chickens and rabbits, and they had stables and a couple of horses and all that. Anyway, his little boy, called Kieran, said, "Dad, is it okay if I give Graham one of the bunnies?" Because his giant rabbit had just had bunnies. So I didn't really like to say no, because it was a gift, you know?
Right. Good.
Right, guys, I'm gonna have to dive out soon because I've got a mountain of work to do still. But it's just worth thinking on this that the EU, Remainers, Brexiteers, everyone needs to realise that we hold all the cards on Brexit. The EU can make all these wild claims, no matter what they want. That we can't fly our planes over Europe. That we can't trade with them, etc., etc. Whatever. Don't care. Not interested. We hold all the cards for several reasons. We do more trade with Europe than what they do. Well, sorry, we buy more stuff from Europe than what than they do off of us. And the stuff that we buy off of them, we could easily source that from around the world, and actually, we can actually start making more of it ourselves.
Half the price.
So
some important German industrial was reported saying this week, you just got to give them a decent trade deal, EU. You've got to give Britain a good trade deal because we got too much riding on this.
Exactly. So we hold the cards there. Plus the fact that we were illegally entered into the EU for two reasons. So the first being when Ted Heath signed us up to what was just a trade deal. He knew then what it was. He sold the lie to the MPs that signed up for it, that then realised afterwards that it was a lie. Of course, they never done anything about it because can you imagine the uproar? They would have lost face with their constituencies. They would have asked to be stand down. So obviously it was just supported, but it was a lie. We were illegally taken in. We were never given the option. The MPs signed up to a lie. So again, that's just another reason why we should never have been in it. But then if you go back to when the Magna Carta was transferred into law and the Bill of Rights was formed, and I can't remember exactly what it says, but John Rhys-Evans says it brilliantly and knows it off by heart. But it says that we shall never give our nation over to any foreign prince, body, etc. And so it completely goes against our constitution to be part of the EU. So we hold all the cards here.
Yeah, good point.
Mark, can you just lean forward so I can see what you've got on your shirt? No, not that one. The black one. It's like a stormtrooper.
It is a stormtrooper. It's me dressing you up.
Show. Wicked. Oh, that's cool. You're a regular stormtrooper.
Yeah,
his wife likes it anyway. I'm
totally a Brexit guy as well. I think the EU is an absolute disaster of biblical proportions.
Yeah. It is. It's absolutely horrific what we've signed up for. The Barcelona agreement, which everyone was fooled into signing up for, and that is in full swing now, and that is basically the Islamification of Europe, and it's happening. It's obviously it started with taking all the the migrants from North Africa, and it's just carried on. since.
Can I just ask you a question, Mark, before you go?
Yeah.
Not that I'm wanting to drag you into a conversation for the next 30 minutes, as though a question like this could do anything like that. But did you see that opening tunnel ceremony in Switzerland? They opened some tunnel under a mountain, and they had this ceremony, and there was Merkel and the last Juncker took over from, what's his name? And they all went along, and a bunch of other leaders from Europe went along. And there was this ceremony which was satanic. It was a satanic type ceremony. It was most peculiar. I just wondered if you'd heard of this. Do you know what I'm talking about, Graham? What that tunnel opening was called? What the tunnel was?
I've not heard anything about that, to be honest with you.
No, I haven't either.
You're not talking about the CERN thing, are you?
No, not CERN. That's another thing. That's all sorts of other stuff. No, that tunnel, that Gottfried something tunnel, in Switzerland. Anyway, never mind. Never mind. I just wondered if you guys had heard about this.
No.
Mark, when you come on next time, we'll talk about that. If you've got to go.
Yeah, no, I'll look into it and see what that's about. That sounds quite interesting. But
yeah, I'll see if I can find some video. I'll try and put some video on there. Yeah.
You know, at the moment, as it stands, the death of Europe is in full swing. Now that they obviously tried it under Nazi Germany, which failed, or did it because
they're not going to give up without the most enormous struggle, though, are they? I mean, realistically,
Nazi Germany would never have been able
without civil war. Okay, that's another.
I think it can, but Nazi Germany would have never been able to sustain control over Europe, and I think this was obviously clearly the plan that they would drift away. They would then, seem to be the saviours of the world. And don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising German people. I think, many German people are decent people. However, I do think that they're too easily led by corrupt leaders, and they
well, they're very cowed, aren't they? They're very cowed because they all feel so bloody guilty for the sins of the father. And even the father didn't do anything wrong. I mean, well, he voted for the wrong guy, So did I, by the way. I voted for a war criminal once by mistake. I didn't know he was going. I marched against that war too, but the fact is, it happened, and I feel like I had blood on my hands because of that guy. And the fact that he's fawned by the bloody Radio 4, telling us that he wishes he'd been an actor instead. I thought he was Tony bloody Blair. Yeah.
All right.
I can't believe he was on Radio 4 this week. They gave a platform to that schmuck to basically say, I'm a regular kind of guy. The head of history on. Oh, yeah.
But Europe now is Nazi Germany. It is exactly their vision. And seriously, Europe has 70 years left, max, before the native people, the Christian people, will
We're talking about
be
the
wiped
demographic.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it will be majority Muslim people that then live in Europe.
What do you think about that, Graham? Graham, you know a bit of stuff about that, don't you? Not that I'm trying to get you and Mark involved in a debate, because I know Mark's got to go to bed. But
can you hear me?
No, I've got work to do.
Well, I mean, that's the plan. That's been the plan all along. They believe in breeding us out. They're going to breed us out. The refugee thing's just the first wave. They will all have. They'll all get married. They'll have 2 or 3 wives, and have like 10 kids to each of their wives.
But these people with this plan are people who have families in Europe or the United States, wherever, as well. I mean, they're creating problems for their own people.
But they think they can control them because religion of Islam is an ideology. They think that they can control that, and obviously for the time being, it would seem as if they can. But the religion of Islam will turn on these people. There is no doubt of that. They do not follow anyone but the visions, the teachings of a corrupt, evil, vile, And let's be honest, he was not a prophet. You know,
he's a schizophrenic. The guy's a schizophrenic, cross-dressing paedophile. That's what he was.
And he never even wrote the scriptures because he was illiterate. Exactly.
Listen, did you know in the Quran it says that he split the moon in half and then healed it back up again? Did you know that?
Really? Oh,
good Lord.
Yeah, and also he flew around the cosmos in a donkey. This is in the Quran.
This great
That's
man.
a dodgy translation. Yeah.
This great
can
man.
You guys hear me?
God just chose to appear to him.
Who's that?
And
sorry, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Sorry, Mark, for interrupting. It's Chris.
Who asked if we can hear you?
Chris.
Oh.
Chris.
So this great man, the prophet.
I don't know
Muhammad,
who that was. Sorry. Carry on.
He's such this decent man that you know, bearing in mind that he's a murderer, rapist, paedophile, that God chose him to deliver his message. You know, and I'm very scared. You know, I'm not saying.
Well,
that
didn't he used to get Jimmy Savile to do
but
songs on Sunday, songs of praise? Did he not? Did he? I thought he did a special bumper edition from Mort Garrin in Jersey or something.
Taking over your job, Olly, in a minute.
Did you know that Muhammad, this is true, okay, this is straight out the Quran, Muhammad claimed that he only received messages from Allah when he was dressed in Aisha's apparel.
I have heard that.
That's cross-dressing.
Yeah, if you want the translation, he's a tranny. He's a mad tranny.
Oh no, we're going to get a fat one now. Thanks. Thanks a lot, man. Daily Brexit, I'm really sorry. We got fat words, yeah.
Follow that, you know.
But the simple truth here is that it will come down to Britain once again to save Europe and ultimately the rest of the world with the help of America. If Trump's not pushed out, we will get our Brexit one way or another. We will secure our nation. We will get a government that works for the people, and we will have to once again be the saviours of Europe. And to be honest with you, if we do, this best be the last bloody time, because French
sick of it.
throw a set of balls.
You're getting fed up of
many
it.
others do, because we've done too much for the world already. Look, people need to learn to stand on their own 2 feet.
Bloody French, I tell you, that's the French.
Without an army.
Bloody French.
We thankfully we do still have the best army in the world.
Yeah,
pretty depleted, but we can rebuild it and re-strengthen it. So we will knock the spots off of any EU army if we have to. Plus, obviously, don't forget. And it's not something that I hope that we would ever have to use, but obviously there's not really any nukes throughout Europe apart from ours and Russia. So
France.
But they're not. There's not as many as ours, are they? And they can easily be shut down.
They're surrender monkey nukes.
Well, yeah, but so they really don't want to start pissing Britain off because, as people know, when Britain goes to war, we go to war, and we go to war to win.
Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think it's going to kick off in North Korea now? Not that I'm trying to keep you up, Mark.
I sincerely hope not.
No, do you know what? Because I would just send in a hit squad and take him out.
Yeah,
he's quite good fun though. He's good comic value.
He's got an interesting haircut.
Probably the quickest hair war we've seen, if there is one.
Dodgy suits.
Yeah.
They look like Bond villains.
Yeah, but listen, there's another side to the whole story. The US killed 300,000 or 400,000 of them in the 50s by carpet bombing, mostly peasants and farmers. And now we're 60 years down the line, and they've been trying to live under brutal US sanctions, and the people are starving. They're suffering from malnutrition. They're on average 2 inches shorter than the South Koreans because they don't get food. They don't get enough food. And it's all because of the US. That's the truth of the matter. And Kim Jong-un's crazy, anti-American this, and, calling him a son of a bitch and all the rest of it. But anyone would be that angry if they were brought up with U.S. sanctions and kids were dying because they couldn't get proper medication and so on. That's the elephant in the room here.
That's right. It's a very good example, North Korea, of where
is that another Cuba?
We just don't know what the truth really is about.
Can you not hear me,
Chris? Yeah, can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, all right.
Just actually, let's have a quick roll call because Gavin.
You don't know who's on, do you?
No, Gavin, are you still here?
No, I think Gavin's left. He has duties tomorrow.
He left a while ago. He didn't say goodbye, did he, Chris?
Yes, he did, because I've just said it says superb talking to you all. Good night. Off to bed as church in morning, and then manager of a ladies football team.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, I lost signal at that time, and you were getting a drink, Olly, I think.
Yeah, I was having a coffee.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I came back.
You don't have a stop within in your desk there? Well, I mean, what a carry on.
I'm going to put a urinal in.
Do you know what I would really like to see, and it would be so funny? I would like to see, actually, that North Korean maniac get his just desserts, and it would be to see him embarrassed in front of the world. So let him release his nukes. Yes. We'll take it down. We'll block his transmissions, and we'll feed him fake news, and watch. He will think that he's targeted America and blew up part of America, and then it'll quickly come apparent that he hasn't, and we intercepted him and shut him down, and then it would be the tantrums of all tantrums. It would be absolutely hilarious.
He does look like a spoilt child, doesn't he? I mean, it's just ridiculous. The most ridiculous nuclear power that there ever was. He's like something out of a bloody comic book.
Yeah, I think he's got some teddy bear DNA in him.
As long as it's not a duck.
So,
yeah, that's right.
So
I'd rather be a crap than a ducky. Sorry.
Yeah, us putting the world to rights tonight. We've now come under the threat of Islam and North Korea.
That's right. Yeah, we got a fatwa and we got a fat bloke who wants to nuke us.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And of course the EU as well.
And they probably.
Let's not forget them, because they are so important.
Yeah.
I can't help feeling that we're just being groomed to hate Kim Jong-un the same way as we was groomed to hate Saddam.
Well, that's what I wonder. And Gaddafi.
And Gaddafi, yeah. And there was all this lies about the Iraqi troops were tossing babies out of incubators onto cold floors and all that, and they had weapons of mass destruction. It was just all utter nonsense. And it turns out that all the stories they told about him gassing his own people and everything, they were at war with the Kurds. They were blowing each other up, Graham, it was war, for goodness sake. Yeah.
Graham, I actually watched this documentary last night about Gaddafi. Do you? But it was very much that he was a really ruthless. Well, he was basically crazy. On the other hand, we do see another side to the story, that he did seem to look after his people. This documentary I watched last night was basically saying, this documentary I was watching last night was basically saying that he was buying them, and that was what it was all about. What is the truth of that?
Well, I think he was a visionary. He had a vision for uniting Africa, just the way United States.
Did he want that, or did he want to be king of Africa? And basically, was it an ego trip? It's hard to know, isn't it?
I don't think he was the evil, brutal dictator that the West made him out to be.
You don't?
No, I don't. Now, the evidence for
he did apparently have a lot of prisoners that were for decades.
Do you know what he had, though, Ollie? Listen, this kind of knocks everything on the head. He had a people's army. Everyone was a soldier, basically, and everyone had to do national subscription. Right. And he had weapons. Listen to this, it's important. He had weapons caches all over the place. that were available to the people. So the people could go, if they were being invaded from an outside force, they could just go down the street to the local depot and they could get, machine guns and, whatever else they needed to defend themselves. And the people had access. The people had access to all of these weapons and everything. Now, on top of that, he gave married couples 50,000.
He gave them a few quid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $50,000 to help towards their first house. Every time they had a child, they got like another $10,000 or something.
I think electricity was basically free as well, wasn't it?
Electric was free. Petrol and diesel was
dirt cheap.
As cheap as chips, yep. And also their education was free. So they got free electricity, free education, free dental care, bonuses every time they had a kid.
That's right. I've heard this. Chris,
he obviously loved
you lived in Africa for a good while, Chris.
Yeah, I lived in South Africa.
And this guy, Gaddafi, was at that time negotiating or trying to negotiate this so-called African Union or something. And I don't know, maybe I'm conflating two different groups trying to put together unions, but he was... What do you think is the truth about his reputation, just as an example? I mean, we could talk about Saddam and all that as well, but what do you think about this story about Gaddafi? I mean, was there any justification for what we did going in there? It seemed to me just ruining the place.
Well, I think we have ruined many places, including places like Rhodesia or now we call Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith was doing an excellent job before the British decided, oh, hold on a minute, let's give this back to the brown men and let them stuff it up themselves. And you're doing exactly the same, you did exactly the same in the early 80s to the people of South Africa. You said, okay, let's have sanctions. So that was okay. I actually made a fortune out of sanctions because it taught the South Africans to manufacture their own goods, to produce their own services, and to look after its own country and people. So it did a good job. And this is what will happen after the Brexit. We will start manufacturing our own goods, our own products and services. Now, we're looking at the single market.
So? That would be really cool.
Yes, people are going on about this single market. It's getting on my tits.
We need such a change of attitude.
Because
if you like corporate attitude in the UK to do that.
Keep saying we want to stay in Europe. Now, Europe is not only the 500 million people that we are selling to at the moment, but it actually exists from 900 million people. However, what we're doing is turning our back on 7.5 billion people around the world that we could be selling to without the single market.
Sure.
And we can obviously import products much cheaper from places like Africa. And I know because I spend time there, I buy stuff from there, and it's half the price as what we're paying from Europe. We obviously don't have to pay a big bounty on it either. We don't have to pay our 17 billion or 13 billion, whatever the figure is tomorrow, I don't know, just to be able to trade with Europe. We can have a market with many countries around the world, and I don't mean just 500 million people. I'm talking about 7.5 billion people. Surely the people of this country can see that. I did mention to you before, South Africa did a very, very good thing. And they put on 130% duty on motor cars. So you could not import a motor car for the life of you in South Africa without having to pay an extra 130% for it.
They did that in Malta as well.
And that was a brilliant idea because what happened was that every motorbike manufacturer came to South Africa, opened their own businesses, big massive factories with their own machinery. It all came to South Africa to build motor cars, including Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and I've been in these plants. I know what they're like. They're massive.
Chris, can I just ask you to hold that thought just for a sec? Somebody is sharing their desktop in this call.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No, that's not me. Whose desktop is that?
Are you looking at my desk?
See. Is that yours, Chris? I'll tell you,
Probably.
I should have known.
Let me get.
Is your desktop blue like that?
Yes.
Has it got? Have you got things like at the bottom icons?
Sex
Simon
and
goes
no.
6 and Debbie does Dallas. Yeah.
No, I haven't got that. Yeah, that's obviously mine.
That's a shortcut to Debbie does Dallas. That is your. Yeah, there you go. For crying
All right, yeah, it
out
was
loud. Okay. All
Right,
Carry
guys,
on.
I'm going to dip out here, but
Thank
before I
you very
do,
much, Mark.
I will leave you with a crazy thought. I'm going to go Kim Jong Un style and go absolutely mental. So you mentioned Gaddafi giving out free electric, and obviously Tesla wanted to give free electric to the people. Now Tesla was heavily rumoured to get his information from aliens. When you look at Gaddafi, he doesn't exactly look or he didn't look human with his plastic face, did he? I'll leave you with that one. Good night, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Bye,
Nighty
Mark.
night, mate.
See you, lad.
Bye.
See you.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Thank you very much, man. Great chat.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. I
Right,
like
leave
his
it over
thing.
to Graham
I
now
like
because
his.
Graham chirping like I don't know what. He's very good.
Yeah.
We have to give him a subject first, though.
Graham,
Yeah.
your nephew's there, yeah?
My nephew's here, yeah.
He's a mental health worker, you said to me earlier.
Yes, that's right.
That's a
Are
pretty.
you looking for assistance?
That's a pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah, he's got to deal with all sorts.
Blimey.
Yeah. He's got a dog as well.
Yeah. I tell you, if you're a mental health worker, then having a dog must be a great leveler. It must be a great leveler.
Oh, Ollie, it's really, really a cute dog. We drove down to. He got it when I was a little pup, and we drove down to Durham. Was it Durham? Yeah, it was Durham. We drove down to Durham, which is quite a drive from the Highlands, and so we got this little cross Bedlington Terrier and Whippet thing, and I was driving, and when we were driving back up the road, the dog wouldn't stay in the back. It kept climbing. It wanted to be beside us, so it climbed over, and it actually wrapped itself around my neck. So I was wearing this dog like a fox fur around my neck, all the way up the road. It was so cute. It was so happy around my neck.
It's a Whippet. It's part Whippet, you say?
It's half Whippet, half Bedlington Terrier.
Oh,
yeah.
it's one of them.
I don't know what a Bedlington is. I don't know what that is.
Well, Ollie, that's what they call me. I whip it in, whip it out.
Oh. Oh.
And
It's kind of like it's a kind of Bedlington's a kind of scraggy looking thing. You know what I mean? It's got sort of like it's like a shaggy dog.
Whippets
Like a
are
racing
very
food.
affectionate, aren't they? They're very affectionate, Whippets.
Well, they are, but the good thing about this dog is it doesn't have the bulgy eyes and the funny nose.
Is it smaller than a Whippet? Because they're very tall, aren't they? They're like greyhounds. I don't know the difference between a Whippet and a greyhound, really, but Whippets are friendlier, I think. They're more sentimental.
I've just
or
been
something.
informed. I've just been informed that a Whippet is a poor man's greyhound.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain what difference there is.
They're much smaller.
Much smaller.
Oh, right.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, they are
Okay.
smaller, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Have they got shorter legs or just a shorter body?
They all originate from the Saluki.
Did you hear that?
They all originate from
A Saluki.
Saluki,
a Saluki.
Yeah.
an Arabian dog.
It's an Arabian dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Greyhounds, Lurchers, Whippets, that's the original dog. They all originate.
Wow.
Really? Right, okay.
Bounding through the desert, chasing a desert fox. Probably
Yeah.
not.
You got to catch wherever you're chasing in the desert, or that's you're finished.
Yeah.
They'd have to be fast and agile. They're very agile dogs. More so than a bulldog.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Bulldogs aren't very agile, are they? They wouldn't do very well in the desert.
No.
I like
No,
bulldogs, though. They're very
No.
farty dogs. Actually,
quite
Chris,
cool.
you look more like a bulldog, mate.
I look more like a boxer. If I don't lose some weight soon, I don't know what I'm going to look like.
Bulldogs can be a bit slivery.
A bit what?
Slivery.
Slivery.
Slobbery.
Delivery.
Slobbery.
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean?
I mean,
Slop.
drooling.
They slobber all
Yeah.
over you.
Oh, slobbery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
Big
like
jowl.
saliva coming pouring out of their face.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I don't like that at all, in fact. I like dogs that got a dry mouth.
Right.
Like women.
Okay.
No,
Now.
some of those
Okay.
big,
This is the Saturday night Billy Bonus edition. Yeah.
some of those big dogs, they actually just drool the whole time.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Disgusting.
Well, we clearly ran out of things to talk about.
The dogs, yeah.
Well, I've just looked on the Facebook page, and it's apparently by Evolve Politics that the historic child abuse panel member was silenced by Theresa May's advisors to ensure she became Prime Minister. Have you seen this story?
No?
It's an
No.
extraordinary interview recorded yesterday. A child abuse survivor who served on the government's independent inquiry into historic child sexual abuse has claimed she was silenced by Theresa May's advisors to ensure that Mrs. May became Prime Minister.
Silenced over what?
Child abuse.
What angle?
Well, she was a child abuse survivor.
And she was told to shut up
Yes.
by Theresa May's office.
The advisors, yes. Just reading it now.
Where's that, Chris?
She was called Sharon Evans, the
Where's that
founder
story?
of .com Children's Foundation.
Where are you reading that?
It's called Evolve Politics.
I'll tell you what, there have been some big developments this week. Hold on, hold
GoSkippy.com.
on. Oh,
Cheaper
blimey.
car insurance.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Now
what
I'm-
you
I-
do?
now I'm giving a bloody advert to... That, I'll tell you, I've got all these tabs open, and I go through them, and then they kick up their audio or whatever. The other story I wanted to ask you guys about tonight that happened this week, two of them, it struck me, were big change. The Newcastle story, I'd like to talk to you a bit more about it, about what it means in terms of the way people discuss or don't discuss, as has been the case, this topic. The other thing, though, is this polling. Is this, what was it, a London School of Economics poll tied in with Oxford Uni or something, and they reckon that, I'm just looking for the story now, something like 68% polled said we would rather have no trade deal at all. Sorry, no,
that's correct.
no
Yes.
deal rather
68
than a soft Brexit.
Yes, that's right.
68%. That is massive. And this was a poll conducted by the LSE, which, as institutions go, it couldn't be more Europhile. No, Chris?
Didn't they have 21,000 people voting in it?
Yeah, it was I thought it was more than
wasn't
that.
a small-
Actually. I'm not
wasn't
sure,
a
but it was a
small thing, yeah.
big. It was a big
Yes, it
poll.
was.
It was a lot of detail, and I thought when I read this, when I saw that they'd done this poll, I thought these guys, they were looking for completely the opposite result in this
Yes, they
polling.
were. I think
Otherwise, they
people's-
wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't
people's
have done it. I'm
perception now of
surprised that
Brexit-
they actually released it. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to suppress that. No,
Well, it hasn't been on the news, that's for sure.
it's a massive story. That is a huge poll. No,
Yeah, I have seen that actually.
I thought that I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the story because I'm gonna give you the headlines here. But it's basically that 68% of those polled. Here we go. 67% of people surveyed prefer the so-called no deal outcome to a soft Brexit.
Yeah.
And 68% of
8%
people surveyed would
don't
choose a
want soft.
hard Brexit over a soft Brexit.
Yeah. I thought it
That's
was- yeah.
massive. That's massive.
Yes, it
That's
is.
bigger than 2/3. That's
I think people's
incredible.
perceptions have now changed. They know we're coming out of the EU, and I think they're getting accustomed to it. It's just unfortunate it's taken them so long to do these sort of things.
It goes to show how many soft Brexiteers there were. Graham, what do you think is the truth in Scotland? Because how much of Nicola Sturgeon's Europhile position, how much did it influence the Scots to basically cast away her seats in that general election and to say, what, talking about independence and staying in the EU? You've got to be joking. How much of that do you think was the case?
I think a lot of people do respect her, but by the same token, she split the party. She basically split the party because, you know, a lot of Scots and a lot of people I know don't believe there's any point in getting divorced from Westminster only to get remarried to Brussels.
Yeah,
that's how they see it.
Graham, can you get a bit closer to your microphone, please?
Yeah. Okay. No, I was
Good
just
man.
going to say a lot of Scots feel that it's pointless. You know, managing to get independence or get a divorce from Westminster only to get remarried to Brussels.
You think that that's the reason, or
Well, yeah,
a key reason? There's lots of reasons, sure, but
No, but this is a key reason. And honestly, if they were to have had that second yes to referendum, it would have been way less than it was. But I mean, it was like 45 or 46%.
It was, wasn't
said
it?
yes. Yeah, said yes the last time. So just under half. If they did that again recently, as they planned to,
That's
it would
the
have been
Scottish
a very,
referendum that we're talking about here. Just in case anybody wasn't sure.
Yes. Yes, and the reason for that is because we don't really. I mean, independent means independent. I mean, all they're speaking about doing here is switching our dependency from one centre to another.
But actually, though, the Scots are not as, like, if you like, dead set against being in the same tent as the English as people like Nicola Sturgeon would like to pretend. No, the average Scot.
No,
I mean,
right,
like.
Right.
And the shoe's the same on the other foot, mind you. I mean, I am partly Scottish, but there is a big affinity basically between these two nations. Whereas there's no affinity with this, EU thing.
No, that's right.
Not a cultural affinity. I mean,
there's no cultural affinity.
Nothing like the same. Nothing like the same amicability.
Olly, the thing is with the EU, it's just wrong on so many levels. I mean, we discussed before the fact that they were, it was behind their stupid fish quotas, and they had thousands of boats dumping thousands of tons of fish back in the sea.
That's right.
Rather than just land it, and give it to the poor or whatever. Make it into fish cakes and put it in a deep freezer. Do something with it. Don't dump it in the sea. And it was totally counterproductive because there's tons and tons of dead, decomposing fish lying at the bottom of the ocean. Not just one or two, but tons and tons of them. Sometimes whole boatloads. And it was causing diseases amongst other fish.
Yeah.
So, there's a whole load of stuff going on there. The fishing thing was just an absolute disaster.
What is the deal now, the latest with that? Because I heard, I think it was Gove, the first thing he said when he became, reappointed to the cabinet was he was going to cancel some agreement or other, which was halfway or one step towards then cancelling, the common fisheries policy or whatever it is with the EU. But then, a week or so ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I heard a story that actually they're going to let the EU, for example, the Spanish, carry on fishing in British waters and stuff like that. Where is that now? Do you happen to know? Chris, do you happen to know?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
This is a very important issue, yeah.
Can I just interrupt you there, Vi? Because Elizabeth wants to rejoin you. I think you'll have to switch her off and put her back on.
I'll try and connect her. Go on. Yeah, Graham.
Sorry, Graham.
No, what I was going to say is the fishermen, their gripe is not just the fish quotas, you know, the fact that they're dumping tons and tons of fish.
No, it's the fact their community has been decimated.
Dead fish, yeah. It's not just that. They have, apart from the quotas, they have totally tied the boats up in all sorts of ridiculous red tape and, you know, rules and bureaucracy and stuff. I mean, these guys can't fart without filling in a form. It's ridiculous. And it's the same with small businesses. I mean, I'm talking now as a small businessman. We got some directives, you know, and coming from Brussels. It's just absolutely ludicrous stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me give you an example. If we wanted to dump some rubbish, right? And now I'm not talking about highly toxic radioactive waste. I'm talking about bloody branches and hedge clippings and stuff like that.
Right.
What to fill in this form? It's called inert waste. Inert waste.
Can't you just throw it over a hedge?
Well, you know,
I don't think Graham's a gypsy.
Well, what we did was, right, we never transported stuff like that.
Chuck it in the nearest lock.
No, we put it in a big pile and we just burnt it.
Right.
You're allowed to do that, are you?
We'd never move it. Never move it from A to B. Just take, you know, if at all possible, just put it in a pile. And I'm talking about, you know, even waste after building a wooden, you know, workshop or shed or decking or whatever. Just pile everything, all your cuttings, pile them all up and just burn them.
Against the shed?
Well, just wherever, you know.
Yeah.
Or else take it back to the yard. We used to sometimes take it back to the yard and just burn it.
Isn't there an EU directive where you cannot burn stuff between 2 o'clock and is it 4 o'clock or?
Listen, we got a booklet with about 27 pages in it, right?
Yes, yeah.
And it listed absolutely everything that you couldn't burn.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell's this? So I couldn't believe it, you know. I was every single possible element known to mankind. And some of them not even, it was ridiculous. And listen, if you do transport it, this was a thing that really got me. If you do transport it, you've got to keep documentation of exactly what it is. And you've got to fill in all this information. You've got to pay the guy in the weighbridge. When you go to the landfill site, you've got to pay him between 16 and 30 pounds, whether it's a small load or a big load. And you've got to go in and dump his stuff, and you've got to keep those records on file for 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, rubbish transportation documents.
Yeah.
You've got to keep them in file for 3 years. And there's these faceless technocrats come round. They probably don't even speak English, and they check these documents to make sure you're keeping them. And if you don't keep these documents for transporting your rubbish, you can get a hefty fine. It's just ridiculous.
Really?
What a palaver.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about any mad stuff here. We're not even talking about tires or fridges or whatever. We're talking about garden waste.
Yes, yes. Something you used to burn in the corner of your garden.
Yes. They don't like you doing that now, though.
No.
It just makes me angry, you know. These self-perpetuating technocrats really annoy me.
I met one at this wedding. See, I went to this wedding, and it was a cousin of mine, Spanish cousin, and I went to the Canary Islands. And they sat me down on this table. You know how all the guests get around their tables at the receptions. And opposite me, they only put me on a table. This was a few days after the Brexit vote, yeah? So, feelings were, passions were, and she says, you're English or something. And I am. And she said, I'm an EU commissioner. I said, what, you mean you're a technocrat? And she said, I had to take lots of exams. I said, yeah, and how many votes did you get?
Yeah.
and seriously, that was the conversation. That was the conversation. But it wasn't a good wedding placement, it has to be said.
And we stopped the conversation then. She did ask me, she said, but you live in Spain, yeah? You must be, you benefit from having an MEP, for example. You must vote for, I said, hold on, well, for a start, I don't vote in Spain because it's not my place to vote. The Spanish are perfectly good at looking after their own affairs. I'm a guest here, basically. So far as the MEP is concerned, the MEP doesn't set any legislation anyway. Just rubber stamps what basically people like you who aren't voted for. So what's the point of voting for that? Anyway, it wasn't a successful wedding placement. And afterwards, I noticed when I jumped in the swimming pool in my suit, having had a few mojitos and stuff, I noticed that she walked past the swimming pool and she gave me a very funny look. But yeah, blimey, I'll tell you what. It is, isn't it? It's basically, it's a technically, yeah, in it. So it's that. It's technical, it's plutocracy.
Are you sure she was a human, Olly? She might have been one of these new sex robots.
She was so young. She was so young. I thought, what have you done? She can't have been older than about 30, 33, 34. And to me, it's like, I said to her, what is your experience? Kind of, what do you, she was a Romanian girl or something, I think. And she was probably just off the old communist working model block thing, perfect for the EUSSR. Just will do their bidding. I don't know. They probably are. They're probably just robots. It's just crazy. I saw no substance in this person, I have to say. She said that she was an EU commissioner. I don't know what that means. She said something like that anyway, but basically one of that lot. Funny.
Commissioner of a group, possibly.
I don't know. She was too young to be, but she's probably earning more than David Cameron.
Yeah.
Or was, sort of thing. There was that poll, wasn't there? Something like 200,000 EU public servants earn more than the British Prime Minister or something.
Yeah, their expense accounts are bigger than her salary.
Graham, I take it that you agree we should just walk away from just basically tell them to get stuffed when it comes to some kind of financial settlement. Why should we give them a penny?
It's absolutely ludicrous that they're going to try and fine us for leaving their stupid club. It's wrong. It's just
multiple years. I mean, if we're talking about how many multiples of our net contribution are we talking here? 5 years? 7 years? A ridiculous amount of money. Considering that if it wasn't for the $500 billion or whatever it is, hundreds and hundreds of billions that Britain has put in, if it wasn't for that, I mean, they should be giving us a rebate, probably.
They really should, yeah. We can always plead poverty like the Greeks.
It's an enormous amount of money. If we were to end up giving them, Chris, what is the maths on this? If we were to give them 25 billion, 25 billion, say.
They were talking more like 68 the last I saw it, and then it came down to 30. So even if it's 30, we're talking about 4 years, aren't we?
How much is that? Rate. How much is that per head? No, it's more than 4 years, because our rate is about 8.5 billion net after we get the rebate.
Plus. It's around about more like 20, but it's 13, I think, at the moment.
What, net?
This year's it was 8. Yes. For some reason we got a discount, but last year it was 13.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay, so this amount, let's say that it's 30 or 25 or 30. What approximately does that mean per capita? That's a lot of money.
Well, you can divide it by 65 million, and which is something I can't do in my head.
I can't be asked. It's a ridiculous amount of money. How much is the national debt?
Oh, that's in the trillions, isn't it?
Is it really?
Yes. That's in the trillions.
So we're talking. It's not way in the trillions, though, is it? It's 1.4 or something like that, or 6.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's 1.3 or 4. Yeah,
1.3 or 4. So this amount that we're looking at paying Brussels is something along the lines of 3% of that.
More or less 3%.
What on earth are you doing?
Graham?
What's that, Graham? Putting his rubbish out.
He's throwing it over the hedge, isn't he?
It's not Elizabeth, is it?
Not me. It's not me.
Must be
Lisa.
Not me.
Lisa.
Yeah, hello, darling.
Hello there.
Lisa.
How are you, darling?
What happened on that show?
Well, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I've watched Mac Childs and all of you, and I got switched off to install updates.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So you're on
That's
your phone.
Windows.
I just got mashed up. But
That's
I
all the
listened to
spyware. They want you to.
It's a new laptop. Remember, it's a new laptop.
You've got to upgrade the spyware.
Oh, I think I'll sell it.
What is it? Windows 10?
Yes.
I don't know what it is. Windows 10, I think.
Yeah, it'll be Windows 10. It's a new laptop. She said that she bought it because she won on the lotto. Not the lotto, on the...
Scratch cards.
Yes.
That's right.
Where?
Yeah.
It's giving me a headache, honestly.
Oh, it's
Why?
not, surely.
No.
It is.
It's great that we can do this, Lisa.
Well, for my age, it's great. I can do anything.
Oh. Now, this is a family show, Elizabeth.
I mean, it's been a good show tonight. I really liked what that guy Graeme said about getting out of Brexit. I'm not too sure we will.
He's all right as Graham, isn't he?
Was it Graham or was it Mark?
Graham.
Well, Mark's
I think
interesting.
Mark said a lot as well.
Yeah.
Mark said a lot, and that was
Mark
interesting.
generally does.
Yeah.
But Graeme was also very good because I have my doubts about getting out of the EU.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, all the games and all the lies, all the delays and the Lords, and it didn't even need the Lords, and Peter Miller, Sargent.
We're going to have a hell of
Blair.
a problem with the Lords, aren't we? That is
We're
going to
gonna-
be...
A hell of a problem.
That's going to be the next biggest hurdle, isn't it? Really?
Well, really, basically, we're not going to get out because the reason is they're making all the elections look like they're even. It was well known that Vote Leave had a landslide and they counted it down to be even. It was well known that the election, Mrs May would have won a lot more, all this Labour rigging and students double vote, and take all that away. What did Labour really win? Nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what. The number of seats that were marginals, tiny marginals. Look at places like Canterbury, for example, had been Tory for the last 90 years, and the last time it went the other way was a fluke. Anyway,
Olly, you're missing a point.
Lots of seats, lots of seats could have been swung by the students.
Yeah, but the biggest
double
places
voting.
where they but you were just saying now Canterbury is a big place where they have the universities, where they were voting.
Yeah, but they're normally voting at home.
Where they were voting for a policy that Labour could not commit to, and that was free university education,
which they've backtracked on. Totally.
That's right, and that is why the youngsters in places like Oxford, Cambridge, Canterbury, and places that
it
have
still
the big
doesn't sell me on the vote share going up to 1/3 to 3/4.
You're not at uni. Remember, the Liberal Democrats did this, and they got into Parliament in a big way, which means they were in cooperation with.
Did you ever hear of a youth vote like that in a general election?
Yes.
When?
The Liberal Democrats. I was there, part of it.
What, they got 75%?
Well, they got an awful amount.
Well, that was the turnout, wasn't it? Sorry, I don't mean did they get that? But that was the level of
yes, because
activity.
The youth wanted free university, and I think everybody should have free university. The problem is paying for it. The Labour had jumped on the bandwagon, similar to the Liberal Democrats did, and the Liberal Democrats failed drastically, and I think the Labour did the same thing. And
Lisa?
if we come up with a policy like that, we'll also get their vote. But how do we pay for it?
Lisa?
We can't pay for it. We're in debt. It's not going to be possible. And when these students all wake up and realise that they've really been conned, like we all have been conned.
I think they are.
But all be conned, every one of us is brain dead, brainless fools.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I'm telling you, because here we are now, all these delays, everything. Where is vote leave? They're not out marching. They're not out fighting for what they won. If they won £1 million, would they let someone come and take it off them? No.
Lisa, hold on. You could argue what delay, because
we're not fighting anything at the moment.
There's a 2-year process, and they appear to be going through it.
Well, I don't believe it, Olly. I'm sorry.
No,
so you're sceptical, basically. You're sceptical, which is fair enough.
Olly.
So am I, by the way. And I think I think it's important that we are sceptical. I think it's really important.
I'm sceptical because all I see is room for Remain to get in and block it in every direction. Here comes another big match by the Remainers, led probably by Tony Blair and the media. It's beaten. They're attacking us everywhere. Even on our internets, the far right, they're getting kicked off, 30 days ban, like I've had many times. And we're just under attack. We can't stand up.
I tell you what, I thought we were going to be under attack from Chris's chest hairs there.
I mean, it's going to be very, very hard for vote leave to leave, really, to tell you the truth, because there's a lot of money involved. EU's not going to let go of the money, especially now they're nearly broke. They're not so financially well off as they used to be.
The EU.
The EU, it's not holding together financially. They're not going to let Britain just walk away like that.
There's all sorts of talk, isn't there? I mean, what are they going to do? Chris, what are they going to do to fill the...
Well, that is something we'll have to wait and see what the Hungarians and the Polish do. To be
I think the Poland will be out before the UK.
Yeah, but the Poles surely are going to stay for now, because are they not getting many billions over the course of the next couple of years from the EU?
I don't know. They may have had all their infrastructure sorted out from our money already.
No, they
I know
are
the Hungarians have.
A lot of money.
The Hungarians have. I've been on the toll roads in Hungary, and I've seen them, and that was all of the British money that went there.
Really?
Well, plus other big countries as well. But the toll roads in Hungary now.
So yes, people in Hungary have to pay to drive across the country.
Yes.
We paid lots of money for some private company to make money out of these.
Yes. You're with it now. You're with it.
That's corrupt.
They have pumped in all our money to Bulgaria, Hungary.
So has the British government
Poland.
got a profit share in this? If it's put money into a toll road, who's getting the money for the toll?
That's a good question. I won't be able to answer, but I know it wasn't the Hungarians that built it.
Is it the Hungarian government that's getting the money?
Yes.
So it's a tax.
A portion of it, yes.
So okay,
so it's actually
it's a public road, but it's a tax road.
Yeah, and it runs all the way down to Bulgaria.
Are you sure about that, Chris, or are you just?
I've been on it. I've seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, is it a public? So it's a tax toll, as opposed to going to a private company.
It must be. I tell you why, Ollie, because it's not controlled like our toll roads where you drive through and put your money in.
Or does it go to a Quango, like one of these things that Richard Branson owns?
Prior to going on it at a garage, and you buy a ticket, which then you stick in your window. And apparently there are cameras on the motorway that detect your registration number and the ticket. It's
so who takes the money? Who owns it?
The garage probably takes it, which means that the government take it from them.
Yeah.
Be a tax. It'll be an extra tax.
It's not a Quango owned by somebody like Richard Branson.
If you don't drive on toll roads, you don't have to go and pay for it, by the way. You can actually drive around.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. I hadn't heard of that, but there must be so many interesting examples of some nefarious use of EU money, and we don't hear much about it. Too much of it. Yeah. Graham, are you still awake?
Yeah, what about Pakistan? What about all the money going to Pakistan?
That's aid money, isn't it? Isn't that aid money?
Yeah, foreign aid.
Yeah, well,
we're talking about EU money that we've paid into.
It's the same principle, though, isn't it? It's all about how is our tax being diced and sliced, and who's benefiting from it and how, and it's all very murky, very murky. We should know way more about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, why are we're still, believe it or not, we're still sending India money. Yeah. And they have India has overtaken, it was more than a year ago, they've overtaken our economy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're a nuclear power. They've got nuclear weapons.
They're going to Mars, aren't they?
Yeah, they just spent 60 million or something.
Big difference between a rocket and a nuclear missile.
Yeah, just a bit. Pakistan's a nuclear power as well.
My word.
I know. I mean, we're giving them money, and all they do is come over here and blow stuff up.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. What sort of world are we living in?
Beats me. Nuts. Getting worse.
Completely nuts, I tell you.
Anyway, I want to say good night to you all.
No. Where you think you're sneaking off to?
No, I've got to take the dog out.
I want to know your ideas about this lady that was kidnapped in Italy, Chloe Ayling.
The
Do you
model.
remember her? The British model, yeah, that was kidnapped.
Yes.
Do you think she really was kidnapped?
No, I think it's just a game they're playing.
Really?
Do you think it's just a money business where she's wanting
money.
a payback?
It's just the rich getting richer all the time. Another story to distract us all on something else.
Listen, I just heard an interesting statistic. The UK gives more money to Pakistan than we pay out in job seekers allowance.
My word. Yeah, but
I better start claiming for something at market then.
They go to a machine, don't they, with a card and get it out, just like a benefit system.
Yes, that's right.
That's ridiculous.
It's mental, man. And they keep complaining about austerity and we're going to have to cut more money off the poor. They're going to get less money and we're going to cap the benefits and we're going to cut this and cut that. And
let's give it the poor in Pakistan instead.
Yeah. Aye, they do. Have they rolled out the new system in England yet? It's called Universal Credit. Have they rolled it out yet?
Yes, they have, and a lot of people are complaining about it because apparently I read today that 84% are actually turned down when they go for their checkups or for their assessments. People who are going with no legs in a wheelchair are actually told they're fit enough to go to work because apparently the government have told them, or the DWA. No, what's that?
Hold on.
What a noise.
Hold on. Whoa. Oh, hold on. Whoa. What on earth is going on there? Oh, blimey. Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, blimey. Sorry, I don't know what this is. Oh, dear.
He's back.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry about this. Hold on.
What are you doing bugging our show
No idea
now?
what's going on here. This is very, very odd.
A minute definitely.
Oh dear. Hold on. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that?
I think we can all hear it.
Oh dear. Hold on. I don't know what is. I'm trying to work out.
There's some major feedback going on.
Unplug your earphones.
No, it's not that. I don't know what it is though. Hold on. Oh, gee. Oh,
That's better.
God.
That's better, Ollie. You've done it.
What the hell?
Oh, guys, I
plugged
tell you,
the
I
phone?
do apologise. I don't know that. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it
I
must be a
think
website.
Mr. Khan's been online.
Just a sec. Let me just see if this is a website that was giving me grief.
Yeah, that was horrendous, man.
Oh,
Oh, it's coming back.
still there.
What are you doing?
Hold on. Why is
Just
it
leave all
doing
controls alone.
Everything's
Why is
going
it doing
pear-shaped.
that? I don't know why it's doing this. Oh, never mind. Okay, I'll have to get rid of that. So, hold on a sec. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Okay, that's my mic back. I'm not
Right.
sure if if we can be heard online now.
Well, I can
because
hear
of-
you.
Oh.
You can hear me on Skype though.
Yes, I
Because
can hear
I
you
just
also
turned
on
down
there.
a fader.
I've got
No,
double.
it should be fine. It should be fine. It
I've
should
got
be
it.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay. I do apologise. I apologise, everybody.
I think you
don't
should
know what
apologise to all
happened
the
there, but
thousands
that
of
was
people that are listening.
very noisy. I went through some tab and I don't know, something happened.
Call you, guy.
Ah, blimey. Oh, truth.
It
So,
sounded
yeah.
like the police was coming.
Just leave that mixer alone.
Oh, yeah.
Right, come
So,
on. your
Lisa,
next
you're off.
question.
You were off. You were off.
We were talking about Chloe Ayling.
Yeah, that's right.
Very
Yeah,
good
that was
scraping
very
it.
odd, wasn't it? It was quite
Yes.
odd. Do you think that it was for real, Chris?
No, I don't think it was for real. Neither does Elizabeth, to be honest with you. We just
No,
feel that it was a money scam and getting a bit of publicity.
Well, is she going to get? She's not going to get away with that because this guy is going to do time and he's going to give her up for a reduced service when he realised he hasn't got away with it.
Hmm. If he is the right man, yes, I suppose so.
I don't know. It sounds to me as though I agree. It sounded odd to me, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he was taking us shopping and that's not kidnapping, is it?
Then he went to Burger King.
He's probably a boyfriend and she's had enough of him, so she's said she was kidnapped. I don't know. Funny story.
Yeah, it is an odd story. Yeah. What else happened this week?
Let me think. That's a good question.
Hillary Clinton went to prison.
No, she hasn't gone yet.
No.
But they
that
are
didn't happen.
talking about laying charges, aren't they?
Oh,
That's
they've been
not going
talking about it
anywhere,
for
is it?
months. How much of it's true? I mean, I'm starting to give up on all the Hillary Clinton stories.
What do you mean, Graham? What do you mean giving up on them?
Well,
Do you not believe
more or
it?
less every day
Pardon?
in my group, somebody posts something about Hillary Clinton's facing new charges, and she's facing this, and she's facing that, and
Yeah.
she's been, there was a warrant out for her arrest, and there was subpoenas against her, and all sorts of mad stuff, but nothing's happened.
I don't see many stories like that, to be honest with you. When Jeff Sessions was made Attorney General, I thought it sounded like he might be the man to drain the swamp. That was kind of the expectation, I think, I
Yes.
had anyway. I think a lot of us did. But then it turned out that he just seemed to be going for Trump,
Yeah.
And that seems to have been the case with the Republican Party. I'm not saying I'm not saying the repeal of Obamacare was a good repeal. I don't know. Probably not. But it seemed very like backstabbing for John McCain to hold the whole bloody thing up because of this, selfish cancer. And then to turn the thing down. To basically quash, wasn't it his. The Republicans seem to be completely on Trump's case, just as much as the Democrats, and he's just been acting like a president with one hand tied behind his back since day one, and that hasn't really stopped. And I think when you consider that, I think he's actually done pretty well through that in terms of he still seems basically compos mentis. And it must be very, very difficult. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the fact that he sits almost, hand in hand with the Saudis and stuff like that. That's kind of what I would have expected of Hillary. I don't like the sanctions he just imposed on Russia. What's the deal with that? I mean, why on earth have they imposed more sanctions on Russia?
I thought that he was trying to get a better relationship with Russia.
I know,
So
that
did I,
confused me as well.
That was very confusing. He sits down and has that chat with Putin at the dinner, the one that the press couldn't monitor. And I don't know about you guys, but that made me laugh, that story. That really did. I thought that was fantastic. The press were being denied. There wasn't anybody sat down with them to leak it, because it is protocol, isn't it, for these things to be recorded between, premiers. And that is a sensible protocol. But when every chat you have with another world leader is leaked to the Washington Post, it gets a bit bloody annoying. And no wonder. Well, Lisa, you're looking good. You're looking good. Put your video back on. Oh, when everything's getting leaked to the Post, I've lost my train of thought. Lisa, you look great. You hear what I'm saying? He's had it tough. Trump has, he's been right to say fake news and stuff. But the fact that he hasn't been talking about draining the swamp, the fact that so many things have been held back and his presidency has been so held back, you can just see it. It's so obvious. Everything, the entire establishment has been working against him. That actually leads me to have more faith in him as a person, I have to say. What do you think about that, Chris? That kind of train of thought on Trump's first 200 days, I suppose.
Well, I think he's actually done a good job, but like I was saying earlier, sanctions don't help anyone. I think what's going to happen now is that Russia will get friendly with the Chinese, who will then replace everything that the Americans supplied. So they're actually not winning anything. They're not hurting the country. They're not gaining any support from anyone. And I would have thought that Mr. Trump was on his way to making friendship with Russia and sorting the world out. I just don't see how on earth, why would you want to put sanctions on a country that you're trying to be friends with?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. There's something strange.
It's
something
very odd.
Yeah.
Graham, it seems to be at odds. On the one hand, everything that Trump has said about him and Putin pretty much, and particularly given that they seem to be fairly, getting on like a couple of lads, which actually isn't a bad thing.
It's Congress, though, isn't it? It's Congress. It's also at odds with Trump. There's still a lobby. There's still a Clinton/Obama lobby within Congress, because Congress wasn't changed. I mean, he's slowly getting around to changing some of them.
Congress is pretty heavily Republican. Both houses are Republican heavy, no?
Yeah, but I think one thing they're forgetting is that the Russians, you have to remember this, are one of the world's greatest supplier of energy. They export an awful lot of energy.
They are. And this
they would hamper any economic
Germany.
exchanges between Russia. Now, I think also these sanctions are to do with the EU, because the EU and America have put it on. Now, if Russia decide to say...
Merkel basically said that, didn't she?
Yes, you buggers, I will stop my pipelines feeding your country. Now, who's having sanctions?
Yeah.
It just doesn't follow. And
that's trickled down.
Chinese are very keen
energy-nomics.
Yes, it's stupid. It's just something not right in somebody's mind that we're not being told about.
I did think that as well. I did wonder if one peculiar reason for there to be these sanctions would be to basically somehow hurt the EU, which actually this will. It'll hurt Germany.
Of course it will. Of course it will. So why would they want the EU to put sanctions on Russia? Come on, there's something it's totally strange. There's something going on. Because I'm sure
do they want the
Russia,
EU to impose sanctions too, or are these just...
Yes.
They
no,
do
the
they? As well as US
EU
sanctions?
Are believing in imposing sanctions on Russia.
Not just the US, but the EU too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Now, who's that going to hurt? Russia
The
or
EU.
Europe?
The
Of course
EU.
it is. If they decide,
and Russia.
we will switch off our gas and our energy exports, and you're buggered. Now, who's getting sanctioned?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Now, the Chinese obviously are interested in this, but they don't want to be conflicting against what America says. Otherwise, they may get sanctioned with certain exports. So the world is going wonky. It's totally back to front. Is there anybody in their government or their democratic society in America like ours, a bit short between the ears? They really do not sit down and think about these things. They come up, have this jolly good rant, and say this, that, and the other, and everybody follows suit. It's wrong. Sorry, you've got to sit down and think about this before you start giving away my energy exports by putting sanctions on my commentary. You forget it. Something not right.
Yeah,
The infrastructure in Europe will collapse if Russia stops the power.
What is the game, Graham?
What's the game? I think they reduced the price of oil, didn't they? The OPEC countries had a meeting and they decided to reduce the price of oil. And then they reduced it again. And they were trying to squeeze Russia out of the market. That was the idea. The fuel prices went way, way down. And they were trying to hurt Russia. That's what it was all about. But the thing is, this tension that's going on with NATO exercises.
Why are we trying to hurt Russia? Why are
been
we
demonized.
not trying to team up? Russia is no worse in terms of human rights than many of our allies.
No.
I mean,
absolutely,
we're crying out loud.
But like
Look at
Graeme
the
says,
Saudi
they've been
record.
demonized for many, many years. No one seems to have wanted to get on with Russia since the Americans decided, hold on a minute, these people are our enemies.
Reagan
and they're
wanted
actually not.
to. Reagan and Gorbachev were pally. They were fantastic. Why do we keep demonizing this state, which is considerably better in terms of its record at dealing with us than many of our allies?
Yep.
For example, Turkey. I'll give you another example. Turkey.
Too many flipping idiot liberals.
Why on earth? So, Graham, can you shed some light on that?
Okay, well, America. Since
Actually,
the Second World War,
Lisa, are you still there? She's gone, isn't she? She's gone again. Anyway, I don't know.
Lisa.
Yeah, Graham, carry on, please.
Since the Second World War, America has manufactured one enemy after another in order to sell arms. They're all about selling arms, and the more stuff they blow up, the more the military-industrial complex are happy. Yeah. And the collateral damage is just millions of civilians that happen to get caught in the crossfire. So that's what they're about. And it's one of the ways they've found to unite the country. If they've got this boogeyman, the Russians are coming. It's absolute nonsense.
Yeah. So they need more than just, the jihadist threat. They need the bear scare too, still.
Well, I'm sure the Russians are selling many
We did go through a period of friendship, post-Cold War. And we've now gone into a semi-Cold War, which is a tepid war. But we did have some good relations for some time there, pre-Obama.
We did,
yeah, too liberal.
The Americans threw a spanner in the works. That's what happened. They didn't like the way that Europe was getting all cozy and united with Russia. They felt threatened. They were jealous of our relationship.
Really? That's an interesting theory. That is an interesting theory.
Yep, they were jealous of our relationship with Russia because we were getting closer and closer. Russia was embracing Western music and culture. Paul Simon was singing in the Red Square.
Russia, as much as anyone of the Eastern Bloc, should be in Europe. If you're going to have an EU which was, let's just suggest for a minute, benevolent, then you would consider Russia to be an honoured member.
Yes, you would.
Culturally?
Yep.
I mean,
What happened? You're pissed there, did I?
what on earth is going on? What are you doing,
Dog.
Graham?
Dog pinched his beer.
Dog?
No, do you know what I did? I just tried to take a bulb out, and it was roast, and it burnt my fingers.
Oh. Yeah, they generally are if you leave them on.
Oh man, it's one of those little pygmy bulbs.
Oh, yeah.
Are you on your boat, Graham?
I'm not on the boat. No.
Okay. Graham lives on a boat.
I do have Wi-Fi
in
on
the
the
summer.
boat.
Are you sat in the dark now?
Oh shit!
Don't swear, man. You can't swear on the radio.
Just broken a bulb.
It's quite funny.
I'm going to go to bed.
And now I've just burnt my hands on a third one. Oh man. You see those energy-saving compact fluorescents? You've got to be really gentle with them.
Yeah.
If you squeeze them even slightly hard, you'll snap the glass.
Oh. I've never felt like squeezing a light bulb.
Oh man.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No.
No.
Everything's working now.
Oh, right. We're back.
Chris, look, you know what? I'm going to go too soon.
Yeah.
I think. Graham?
I need to get to bed.
Yeah.
You going to call it a night?
Yeah, I think
early
I
night
think
tonight.
so. I think I need to eat. Chris obviously needs to sleep. And I know we could go on, but I need to eat too. So, yeah. And also, we will be cut off. We will be cut off because, in fact, we might already have been. Hold on. Let me check.
Cut off enough time.
We were last time. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah. We were. Yeah. No, we haven't been cut off
Maybe
yet.
you were.
We're still there.
that last show went on for hours though. That was nuts.
Yeah, it did. We went on for another...
You had a lot to say last time, Graham.
It was good fun. Yeah, I was just getting into my stride.
Yeah, Graham.
Yeah.
Well, should we do this again?
Yes, we should do this again.
We'll do this again.
There are
We will
other
do this
stories
again.
to be talked about. For instance, all these people who are losing their jobs at Asda. Did you hear about that?
No.
Thousands of Asda workers are facing redundancy or reduced hours.
Why?
Why? Because they're trying to look to cut costs. They're actually losing money. Apparently, I think they were talking about 3,500 employees.
Oh, wow.
In underperforming stores.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, which weren't obviously making money, therefore they had to cut back on staff, which is generally the case when you're running a company. And we were talking about places like just up the road in Halifax.
Right.
Down in Kent. So it's spread around the country. It's not as though it's
What
a
a
matter
shame,
of...
eh?
Yeah. 3,500 people is a lot of people to lose their jobs.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but Asda's part of the Walmart group, and they are
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Ruthless.
But they're trailing behind probably Tesco's and Sainsbury's at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Tesco's bouncing back in a big way, and
Yeah.
Morrison's just keep getting bigger and bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but both of them can't keep up with Lidl's and Aldi.
Well, that's right. They're the new kids on the block, eh? They're brilliant.
Yeah, and all their stuff comes from Europe, as you know, from Germany, because they're both Germans. They were.
Yes, it does, aye.
So it can't be blamed on Brexit.
Some of their products are fantastic. See some of Lidl's cleaning products. Oh man, they're brilliant. They make a fool of our stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't know. That means I'd have to clean if I bought some.
That's a tip
Well,
for you.
I was having trouble. I was having trouble cleaning the glass in my wood burning stove. You know, the inside of the glass.
Yes.
And I tried every trick in the book, and people were saying, "Oh, use ash, use this, use that." And a friend of mine said, "Buy some grill cleaner, barbecue grill cleaner from Lidl's."
Yeah.
and try it on your stove. So I thought, okay. Oh man, it was just like magic. I just sprayed it on, and all the soot just run off. I didn't even have to scrub it. All the soot the soot just run off the inside of the glass like a magic formula. And
I have a self-cleaning oven, so it's that's out.
Well, no.
Any other products? Any other products?
Yeah. What other products do you use? Well, what were about it, Graham? What other products?
I'll tell you something else they've got that works really, really well. They do a jet spray shower cleaner. Absolutely awesome.
What's it called? Because that is something I do need.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just called shower cleaner.
All right.
And it's just in a jet spray. It's not it's not an aerosol. Anyway, it's just like, it just dissolves all that gungy stuff, and it's brilliant.
Unbelievable. I can't.
Yeah, the German cleaning products and you know, like metal cleaning products and all that are way better than ours. Just are.
Goodness. I've had enough.
Right. Okay. You got free
I can't.
You got free advertising. What more do you want?
I can't believe where the conversation descended to tonight. I would like to thank everybody. Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks, Graham.
Okay, thank you.
God bless you, mate. And Ben, who didn't say a word. Bloody useless. Yeah, Chris Baxter. Hey, thank you.
Bye.
We were only going to have a chat.
Yes, I know.
Turned into a show.
Well, you said you were free.
Gavin Felton, thank you very much. Mark Childs. Yeah. And
Margaret.
Lisa.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. That's it. The Daily Brexit. That was it.
See you, man.
Billy Bonus
Bye.
edition tonight.
Bye.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Cheers, Graham. Probably gone. Yeah, Lisa Higgres. Lisa, thank you. I think that's everyone. Yeah. So there you go. Cheers. See you next week. Yeah.
All right.